my God.
How do you want me to say it?
Next on KROQ, Loveline.
Loveline.
Call 833-LOVE-191.
KROQ's Loveline shows.
Next on KROQ, Loveline. Loveline.
Call Loveline.
833-LOVE-191.
KROQ Radio is involved. Loveline.
Loveline. KROQ, the radio station that promoted
Loveline.
Welcome to Loveline. Loveline is meant for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised.
Are you ready? Then brace yourself.
This is Loveline with Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara.
Call or text 833-LOVE-191.
Loveline is on now.
It sure as hell is. Do not adjust your radios or zippers. At least let us warm you up first. It is Kevan Kenney, as the intro told you, with Dr. Tara. Dr. Tara,
Hi.
welcome to Loveline.
I'm excited to be here, really.
Can you believe you're here?
I can't. But I'm here, and I'm a big fan, actually.
It is Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Dr. Tara, clearly you are not on the interweb because she is absolutely massive. Paper Magazine has called her the leading sexpert of our generation. She's a tenured professor of sexual and relational communication, as well as quantitative research methods at Cal State University, Fullerton, an award-winning researcher, a columnist with her own column, Sexplore, something I like to do on the weekends, with Dr. Tara in Women's Health Magazine, and also as a prominent sex and health relationship expert. Her work can be seen in the media on things like KTLA, CBS, Fox, Refinery 29, Cosmopolitan, Forbes, and now the world-famous KROQ. We are so excited to have you here, Tara.
Yeah, let's talk about sex.
I can't believe we're here because we've had so many meetings about this show, and I have to ask you, is what people calling you Tara
Yes.
drives you crazy?
A little bit, because I'm originally from Thailand, so Tara means something. Like Tara means river.
Now, is Thailand a sexually liberative place?
No.
No, it was
No,
not.
it's not.
What was it like growing up in Thailand compared to Los Angeles?
I would say quite sexually repressive. I mean,
Really?
I had a good childhood. My parents are very loving. But at the same time, yeah, contextually speaking, you know, I grew up very religious. And then I also went to an all-girls Catholic school where you have to like wear your uniform, cover your wrists, cover your knees. And if you don't, you get hit on the hands.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the context of where I come from.
I thought we would wait at least 5 minutes to turn the audience on, but now I feel like there's dudes in the
Wow,
Inland
who's
Empire
listening?
sweating, going, "Yeah, talk more about the getting hit on the knees, man. Yeah, I'm glad this show's back." Well, then wait. If it's so sexually repressive, then every like old creep I know from the town I grew up in, they always go there for vacation by themselves. What's that about?
That's called sex tourism, and
Oh.
it's particularly just for tourists.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you actually, what do you get, like a card when you get off the plane? You go, you can go over there, and you can sexplore.
Yeah, I mean, you know, tourism is a huge part of Thailand's GDP.
Right.
So whatever kind of tourism it is, it's there. Because we also have like health tourism, like people go, medical tourism. People go there to get like hair transplant and, you know, all kinds of medical stuff, right?
And just to be
Sex
clear,
tourism is just one of the things that exists there.
and when you say GDP, you mean the male or the female GDP spot? Or is that something different?
Oh, there's so much that Professor Tara can teach.
So I have to imagine just being called Tara as many times as producer Muggs, who's in the room right now, has called you Tara. Literally, even tonight, he has now known you for 6 weeks. It has to be a huge pet peeve of yours. Do you have a big pet peeve in the bedroom, though, as sort of a doctor of sex in so few words? Again, that's not your title, but that's what a stupid person like me would say. Do you have a pet peeve because you know so much about sex? And now it's almost like if you were like LeBron James trying to play basketball with me or Muggs, you'd probably get you'd be really annoyed by how we played basketball. Do you have a lot of pet peeves in the bedroom?
Oh, my number one pet peeve is a selfish lover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like a lover that only cares about, you know, themselves and their own pleasure and not their partners. Because I'm very generous. I'm a generous lover. And when, you know, my husband and I get it on, like, I care a lot about his pleasure. And
Right.
so does he. So that makes a successful relationship is when you take into account each other's sexual satisfaction, as researchers would say.
And are you generous in all forms of life, or is it strictly to the bedroom?
I am generous everywhere.
Really? Muggs, you know you wanted that soda? Yeah. Yeah. Can you get Muggs a soda? Do you mind?
I don't believe in sodas, so probably not.
All right, he's
Yeah.
really thirsty.
Water
back there.
for you. Maybe sparkling water.
Thank you. Now, I actually think there's an answer to selfish lovers. I've thought about this a lot. Not that I am a selfish lover, but I've thought about this, and I think there's somebody out there for everybody, right? In this show, Loveline on KROQ, by the way, if you do want to get involved, it is 1-833-LOVE-191. The phone lines are open. You can also text that number because we have finally here at KROQ joined the 21st century. Can we get a round of applause?
Woo!
I heard next week it's high-speed internet. But in anyways, we would love to hear from you. But I think there really is. This is a show about sex, but also a solution-based show. You're here, of course, the leading sexpert in the world right now, and also 2.3 million followers on social media. It's just incredible. But to offer a solution to a selfish lover or a KROQ listener right now who has been accused, rightly or wrongly, of being a selfish lover, I think they need to just find themselves a nice, good old-fashioned dom-sub relationship. Because I feel like that is perfect for them. Because submissive people, they just want to please. They don't want to be pleased necessarily. They get the pleasure, right, from serving their dom. And I think that is what selfish lovers, they need to, if they're not having success right now and they're listening to Loveline, or maybe they've had breakups or they don't get calls back after dates after they do the deed and they think they might be selfish, they need to find themselves a nice dom-sub relationship.
That's completely wrong.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it though? Why?
What university did you go to? the Muggs Community College?
The Muggs Community College of Phoenix.
Online.
Yes, online.
No, actually, in fact, when you look into the research of the dom and sub relationship, there is a lot of reciprocal benefits. And doms or subs, they are not selfish at all. In fact, they are very giving. A dom isn't just there to, inflict pain on the sub. A dom is there to take care of the whole situation, to set it up, to make sure that the sub gets the kind of satisfaction that they want. There's a lot of psychology into dom and sub. And I mean, we can go way in depth in one of these, future discussions, which I really want to talk about because there is a big misconception that dom and sub is just let me spank you and that's it. No, there is deep psychology behind that.
Those are posers, you're saying. Those are sort of the posers. Those are the mainstream subs, Those are mall subs.
They're uninformed subs.
Right, exactly. Those are subs that get involved after the third Breakthrough album, right? On BDSM records. I will say my pet peeve in the bedroom is production. And I think sometimes there's a threshold for me in terms of, sexploration, where if the production is it's too costly, for my budget in terms of time and effort and sometimes money, because you got to buy props with some of these things, that the kids are asking you to do these days, the 18 and over kids these days.
Yeah, please clarify.
Yes, of course. And I think I remember one time a girl really wanted to get tied up, right? This is back I was probably 22, 23 years old. And she was my girlfriend at the time. She really wanted to get tied up. And so me being somebody who wants to, be there for their girlfriend and I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable with their sexploration or their interest, I said, yeah, you know what? YOLO, as we were saying at the time. And I said, let's do it. And I did it. And I guess I got the wrong rope because I went to the hardware store to get the rope.
Oh, no.
Was that my first mistake?
That's a rookie mistake.
Okay, so I got the yellow rope that you would tie sticks with or
Ouch.
something. Yeah, it wasn't great. And then we got there and we get naked and we're fooling around and it's kind of getting to that point where I'm like, well, I guess this is the part where we start tying you up. And so I didn't know. I realized in that moment, standing there naked, I didn't know how to tie up a lover. And so I never really watched any sort of, adult videos that featured that. And so I realized, well, the only thing I have to go off of is when they were trying to trap someone or trick someone on Looney Tunes. And so I just kind of started with the wrists and then started with the ankles. And I stood back from the bed and I looked at my beautiful girlfriend and she just reminded me of something like Wile E. Coyote would fall for. And I just started laughing. And fellas, again, this is a sort of a dating and love and sex advice show. Don't do that.
No.
Don't get your girlfriend naked, tie her up by the hands and ankles, and then laugh. That is bad. Yeah,
that is bad. The reaction is particularly bad.
Pretty bad.
Yes.
Pretty bad.
Never laugh at your lover. Laugh together is fine.
Yes.
But don't laugh at them.
And preferably, if you are going to laugh at them, make sure one or the other is not bound.
Right.
That's never good either.
Yes.
So that was my one kind of trip down that lane. But how do you feel about that? Like in terms of just, I think it's like if the setup of the kink or the fetish is going to exceed the time in which, the male will probably last, it's probably like, I'm going to say no.
I love it.
You do?
Yeah. I love production.
Really?
Yeah. I love effort because to me, effort is a love language and a sexual love language,
Right.
in fact. For me, if you just want a quickie, to me, that's fine. That's called what we call in research maintenance sex.
Okay.
And we can have some of those, right?
Is that what the maintenance guys here do?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's ask HR for that. But no, maintenance sex can be there for relational maintenance purposes, which is important. But once a while, you need the production ones where you're exploring things that are interesting, that you want to try, that you're curious about, and putting in that effort is in itself a love language. So I need that.
So have you explored with a lot of different production elements?
Yeah, I would say so. Being a sex researcher, and when you say sexpert, I feel like I should be trying different things in order to have a say that I have firsthand experience, right? Of course, not everything. I don't go beyond my boundary. You have sexual boundaries, right?
Yeah, well, of course. Things I'm just not into. Is
right.
that what you mean? Yeah,
right.
Of course.
Yeah, so I have sexual boundaries as well, and I don't go past my boundaries unless, depends.
How did you learn that boundary? Is it sort of trial and error where you tried things, you go, that's the boundary?
There's two tracks of learning your sexual boundaries. One is try and error. Two is if you watch some videos and you're like, ooh, that is an obvious turn off.
Yeah, but
then
But I don't know if that's fair, the latter point, because I know a lot of women that I've talked to, and they like crazy things they watch online, and it gets them turned on.
Right.
But they don't want to do it. It's more like they like watching that. So how would you sort of as a doctor sort of diagnose that, I guess you'd say, is what is that phenomenon where, and I'm sure men are the same way, you just want to watch something crazy and it gets you off, but then you don't want to do it in real life.
That phenomenon is called sexual fantasies, and very common, very healthy for your sexual well-being. Because just because you imagine something or watch something that is fictional and find it interesting and attractive doesn't mean you ever want to do it in real life. Imagine people who make movies like Saw. There's Saw 13 now?
Right.
There's so many of them.
Now that really turns me on, those movies.
But do you think these directors and producers, do you think they're going to go out and do that in real life? No, they don't. Right? So why do we then shame people who have sexual fantasies of certain kinds? Because it doesn't mean they're going to go out and do those things. I think that's the very first thing to talk about is sexual fantasies are healthy and fine. Until then it becomes something you want to do. And if it's problematic by nature, then you would want to discuss that with a sex therapist or a therapist of some sort. Anyways, for me, I think when you're talking about doing something that I find attractive or the other person doesn't find attractive, I'm always open to trying once, right? I try some of the things that I now know, I'm not into this.
Right.
So yeah, but I keep exploring deeper the things that I like.
Muggs, it kind of sounds like you at work, you'll sort of try out doing your job for a day, and then you won't like it, and then you'll just kind of go a couple weeks and not do your job.
Anyway, Dr. Tara.
I would say my philosophy is I'll try anything once as long as it's consensual and potentially pleasurable. Right. As long as it's consensual, then I'll try anything once.
And hey, by the way, that's great that the Muggs is here and just heard that, because in your defense, if anyone ever complains about you not doing your job, well, you never consented to it. Right? Think about it.
Good point.
Muggs works hard.
Thank you.
There's so many. We got to get to break, but there's so many different boundaries in sex. Would you say penis size is a boundary? Like for size queens, women that can only be with very well endowed men. Is that a boundary?
It could be someone's boundary. It's not mine.
Okay. Well, we'll talk more about that. I believe we have a caller, Muggs. We have a caller on the phone, Victoria, who is, I guess, having some issues with a new love in her life because he's just not packing.
Yeah, there's lack of penis.
Right. And it's not, weren't you dating a girl named Victoria?
No, dude.
Oh, different. All right.
Is this about Muggs?
I have no trouble. I am fine.
We're
I
gonna
think I'm
find
above
out
average.
when Loveline returns.
Loveline.
Loveline.
With Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara.
We'll be right back.
Feels so good, doesn't it?
KROQ.
Loveline.
Call Loveline.
833.
LOVE 191.
Loveline on KROQ.
Alrighty, it is Kevan Kenney, Dr. Tara on Loveline on the world famous KROQ. Yes, you heard that correctly. You can get involved with this show. It's interactive, Tara, isn't it?
Woo!
You can tell how genuinely she's excited to be here from the woos. If you want to call us up, it is 1-833-LOVE-191. And I'm told that's the classic number. Does anyone know that?
Yeah.
It is? That's cool. Bringing it back. Anyways, we have a caller now. This is Victoria, 26 years old, lives in Sherman Oaks, California, and she has an issue with her boyfriend or person she's dating's private parts. Victoria, you want to fill us in a little bit?
Yeah, so I don't really know for dating per se, but we did go out a few times, and last week we, did the deed, and I don't know what to do now because he has a really, really small penis.
Okay.
Oh.
And I don't know if I should just be very blunt and just kind of break up with him and just shut it down completely, or if that makes me really superficial, and I just don't know what to do, and I don't know who to ask either because I feel like this is a weird topic for a lot of people.
So she said, I'll call a radio station.
Yeah, let's tell everyone.
Exactly.
Well, hey,
Exactly.
Victoria, to ask a question for every male listener right now, how small is too small?
That's a good question.
Oh, I think that depends, but for me, this one's too small.
I mean, do you know how small? Because Dr. Taro talks about male genitalia quite a bit in the office, I'll have you know. And you've in the past said to me, Tara, that you actually were 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches. And I find women, they know somehow. And I couldn't tell you how tall that trash can is in the corner. I mean, truly. But you guys.
Yeah, that trash can is 2 feet.
There you go. Exactly.
I know exactly
If
the
this
size
doesn't
of that trash can.
If this doesn't work out or you lose tenure somehow, you could be a carpenter.
Yeah, I can try that. That would be my first choice.
How do women know that? In all seriousness, how do women know how large a man's private parts are?
I'm going to say it's instinct.
It's instinct?
I'm going to say it's instinct.
It's got to be more than...
And
okay.
also, when we're talking about size, Victoria, I really need to know, are you saying less than 5 inches? Less than 4 inches? What are we talking about here?
We're going to say 4 inches, less than 4 inches.
Less than 4.
And how does she know that?
Because she's a woman.
Instinct.
Well, you told me one time, Tara, that it was based off the oral experience when you're intimate with somebody.
That's
you can
right.
gauge it off of the sort of intricacies of your mouth.
Well, yeah, if it goes all the way back, then
Right.
you know that it's quite large.
Yeah, but what if you have a
And if
small
it's-
mouth? Then this 4-inch guy, maybe
No.
we should do a swap, and Victoria's guy should be with you if you have a small mouth. He just needs a woman with a small mouth.
There isn't a huge discrepancy between mouth sizes of women.
Is that
okay?
true?
Yes,
Okay.
it's not a huge discrepancy. It maybe the difference is an inch or less, but no, it's not going to be a huge discrepancy. So we can gauge from that, but we can also gauge from looking.
Okay.
Yeah, just by experience. Anyways, Victoria, do you know the average size of an American man's penis?
No, I know the average size that I've been with has been bigger than my newest partner, but I don't know.
Oh, she's a size queen.
And then is that just off of feel, Victoria? You can just say that off of feel, or is it more of a visual memory?
I would say it's both. It's the feel and the touch and looking. It's definitely
of cotton,
small and used to.
the fabric of our lives.
Anyways, okay, my real question is, was sex good for you?
It was. It was better than I thought it was going to be, but I think a lot of it was mental for me. It was hard to get over the visual of what was in front of me.
Because women do that, right? They pander, because they want to find a partner. They want to find a nice guy. It's
Right.
tough to find a nice guy on these dating apps in the year of 2024.
Totally.
And so even if he is lacking a little bit in the crotch, you'll say, oh, no, size doesn't matter. Oh, that's all, that's all hullabaloo. And Muggs, actually, our producer, is now going towards Mike. Did you get excited because this is your area of expertise, small genitalia?
Well, no,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
Before
I can feel it.
Before we get
Yeah.
to that, no, what is the average size, Tara?
It is 5.16 inches.
5.16?
Hard.
Okay.
5.16 hard, okay? Not flaccid.
All
Because
right.
people think it's flaccid. I'm like, that's no way. No one is 5 inches flaccid.
Right.
No.
Kevin
Some
is
guy
staring
is.
at me right now.
Some guy is. We could find a
Kevin.
guy. We could find a guy.
Not
I've
someone
seen
in this
some
room.
Videos. I've seen some videos. I've seen some VHSs.
Yeah, those are athlete lovers that do those occupations. So you see those and you think, oh wow, all men in the world must have that size, and then you get super insecure. Not you particularly, Kevin. I
Right.
know we're making eye contact, but
Yes. Am I not supposed to look at her?
I mean,
I
like-
don't want to look at mugs, so you're the only thing I can look at.
Well, I think a lot of that comes from, correct me if I'm wrong, like watching a lot of young men watching pornography,
Right.
and all the camera angles are making
Exactly.
things look bigger than they really are.
Whatever you
Right.
need to tell yourself to sleep well at night.
Oh, it's facts, dude.
But going back to what Victoria said, she did say that sex was good. And I just always want to go back to that. Research found that sexual satisfaction is correlated to relationship satisfaction. So, Victoria, there is no reason why you couldn't have a beautiful, fulfilling relationship with this man.
So wait, Victoria, just to hop in here. So the sex was good, and but you're calling Loveline right now because you're obviously upset. You don't know if you can even see this guy anymore because he's just lacking in the crotch. So I guess, like, what's the beef or what's the sausage, Victoria?
The sausage is just thinking like long term. I don't know if it's something that I could get used to for an extended period of time. But I've also just kind of been struggling, like, is it just my mentality? Do I have the wrong thought process about it? I think it might have just been like a little bit of a jump scare for me to see something so small like that I'm not used to. But I do understand where Dr. Tara is coming from. I mean, he is like a great guy, which is why I've been contemplating this a lot, because I had a good time. I was just like really in my head about it. But when I'm thinking long term, is it something that I'm going to be able to, enjoy? And is it better to just kind of like cut it off now and not have to worry about, long-term satisfaction?
I think the problem's Victoria. Victoria, can I be honest with you? How many boyfriends have you had?
A few.
A few? What's a few? Can you give us a number?
Let's say like 10.
Okay, and how quickly did you find with each of those boyfriends? Did she just say she has 10 She's had 10 boyfriends? Okay, that's alarming. How you're
That's not a
26,
lot.
26 and 10 boyfriends?
Imagine. Okay.
How old was she when
Don't
she had
go
her
there
first
yet. But
boyfriend?
imagine people like in high school, they have a boyfriend for like 3 months.
No.
That's your experience.
Every 3 months?
Not every 3
10?
months, but I'm saying there's a lot of short-term relationships when you're younger, and that's what studies find as well. Is there are just a lot of there's a high turnover, in a relationship, but it doesn't mean that she has had sex with all of them. Anyways, even if she did, it's her prerogative.
But what I'm saying, Tara,
Ultimately, I do think that you're letting the penis blocking your happiness.
But I think she'll find something wrong with the next guy. She had great sex, by her own admission, with is he a nice guy?
He's a nice guy.
And he's a nice guy, which is very hard to find, right?
Right.
Might be a little boring,
Right.
but my advice to most women these days with the types of creeps that are out there on these dating apps, one to my right now in the studio, is just if you find
Peeping
a nice guy,
mugs.
try to make him, try to make it work with that guy. I just think if you had great sex with this guy, or good sex, and it's the first time, by the way, so we're kind of glossing over that. I mean,
Right.
again, I'm not the doctor here, but what are the odds of that the first time you hook up with a stranger, it goes well, there's chemistry,
Because it typically doesn't.
It does not. It does not. It's a dance, right?
Right.
And so I think that you should focus on that, and I think you should look inward, Victoria, and maybe look at some of those past 10 boyfriends you've had, and you're only 26 years old, and all these faults you find in other people. The problem might be you.
Might be, but I just got that riz. It's not my fault that
See?
She's shallow.
Hey, she's
forgiving
charismatic and she's
you.
confident. Don't blame her. She's a confident woman. Okay, so I do think that the best thing to do right now is to shift your perspective to looking at a person overall, like a holistic view of a person and the chemistry and the connection rather than just the penis size. Again, not everyone's going to be, something that out of a pornography. So let's just go with, okay, he's a nice guy. I like spending time with him. Sex is great. Go with that.
Well, hey, Victoria, you said it was good sex, but, he was lacking in the pants. For the endowment challenged KROQ listeners right now, did he make up for it? Like, how did he basically win the game, right? So he didn't score a ton of points with the penis. How did he win the game for you? You know, did he make up for it in different ways?
Well, let's just say he's a musician and has very talented hands.
Oh, okay.
And that's
See?
art.
There you go. Do
Great
you like
sex
that, Tara?
doesn't even involve penetration. Like, sometimes great sex doesn't need to involve penetration at all.
Do you enjoy? Do you mind me asking you that, Tara?
Manual stimulation?
Yeah. Do you like that? Because I know some women don't.
100%, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
And does it go the same thing for oral stimulation for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Some women don't like that. I've dated a lot of women.
Statistically, more women like it than not.
Okay. You know what? I'm having a realization here, as I hope Victoria is as well. And I'm going, maybe the problem was me.
Yeah.
Maybe the problem was me that I was so bad at it. It's almost like how I don't think my parents asked me to do chores past the age of 10 because I could not rake leaves for the life of me, and I was just the worst, little handyman. I think maybe that's why women have always told me that they don't want me to do that.
Well, that makes sense now, Kevin.
Yeah.
I hope everyone is having a realization. Well, have a good life.
Yeah. Hey, Muggs, have you realized anything recently in the past 5 or 10 minutes?
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry right now.
Oh, you know what I thought it was? I thought now that you know
From
you're
talking about small penises?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Get me a bratwurst. All right, hey, Victoria, it sounds like you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror, in my estimation. But again, I'm not the doc. Doc, what do you think the answer for her is?
Shifting your perspective to look at the relationship holistically and not just the member.
Or, hey, Victoria, if that's too much to ask, you just shift your perspective to, like, his navel or maybe his chest or anywhere other than his crotch.
There you go.
Good advice.
Look into his
Thanks,
eyes.
All right. See you later, Victoria.
Thank you.
More Loveline coming up with Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara.
Call or text 833-LOVE-191.
KROQ.
It brings you beautiful love, and it'll drive your mind through 1,000 terror-filled moments.
Back with more Loveline.
KROQ.
It is Loveline on the world-famous KROQ, 1-833-LOVE-191. If you want to give us a call, Kevan Kenney talking to you with Dr. Tara, our sexpert. And also, what publication was that? It was a big-name publication recently called you the Internet's leading sexpert.
Paper magazine.
Yeah. There you go. Now, we have our next caller here. I'm being told this is Adam. He is 22 years old. He lives in Tracy, California. They're also telling me that's in NorCal. And he's got some questions about his sexuality. And Adam, who the hell doesn't these days? So do you want to tell us what's going on?
Yeah, so I've been dating this girl for about a couple months now. And I don't know what's going on, but if I'm to be honest, I kind of find myself looking at men, and I kind of like it, but I just don't know what to do, don't know how to feel.
Interesting. So when you say looking at men, is this like can you tell us a little bit more about that? What do you mean by that?
Like their physique, like muscles. At first I thought it was like an admiration type of thing, like what I see on them I might like on myself. But now it's like I just like what I see.
Well, I like what I see.
Do
I mean, I watch the NFL every Sunday.
Muscular men?
Yeah. I was watching Sunday Night Football a couple weeks back, and Derrick Henry went for about an 80-yard run. I go, I want legs like that. You know, I wish I could look like that guy. But is it like that, or is it more maybe sexual?
Let's just call it what it is. It is probably a little bit sexual, but I don't know if that makes me like gay then. Like I don't know, because like I was watching football too, and I saw the legs, and in my head, if I'm to be honest, it's more so I wanted to touch the legs.
Oh,
interesting.
As opposed to like appreciating them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Do you want to touch the legs, Kevin? Muggs definitely want to touch the legs.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want him touching my legs, so yeah, sure. Go touch Derrick Henry's legs. Go fly to Baltimore.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, though, Adam, is this something when did these thoughts start occurring?
Maybe maybe some thoughts trickling here and there even before I started dating this girl, but I feel like they're intensified now, and I'm not sure why. It's really weird to navigate.
How do you feel about gay people?
I mean, my brother's gay. I don't really have anything against it. I feel like small town vibes. Like we're not too open over here, so I don't know how to feel, but I'm okay with it.
Isn't that crazy, Tara? and also you, Adam, that like in 2020, and I'm not trying to get on a soapbox or anything like that, but just in that in 2024, that's still a construct in American society of people having some sort of weird bastardized struggle with different sexual orientations. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's just insane.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that get, kicked out of their homes and community for being gay. There are still countries in the world where it's illegal.
Isn't that crazy?
To be gay. It's
awful. It's not crazy. It's awful.
It is awful. It's terrible. But Adam, have you ever heard of the terms and the differences between romantic orientation and sexual orientation?
No, I actually haven't. Can you explain that more for me, please?
So this goes for you guys too. Romantic orientation is when you're romantically, emotionally attracted to someone, like you are falling in love and you want to be in a relationship with them. This doesn't involve sexual attraction.
That just sounds like friendship.
No.
It sounds like you're describing friendship. Is this like a made-up thing?
Romantic love. No.
There's a lot of terms these days, Tara, that are made up.
This is textbook information. So you have romantic orientation, and then you have your sexual orientation, which is who you are sexually attracted to.
Right.
So with that being separated, I think it can help people feel a lot less like ashamed, or it helps people understand more that, okay, listen, it is totally possible to be, for example, heteroromantic, like you want to date girls, and bisexual, like you are sexually interested in both men and women. It's totally, completely normal. I am heteroromantic and bisexual. I'm sexually attracted to both women and men, but I am married to a man, and I fell in love with a man, so I feel like I am heteroromantic. So there is a difference between both. And you can literally be anything. Like, the beauty of being human is you can be anything. There are people that are, pansexual and aromantic. Have you ever heard of aromantic?
Well, if you're pansexual, you're from Panama. Is that what that means?
Is that what you learned from Mugs?
Yeah. The extent of my education.
Don't blame that on me.
Don't get facts from Mugs. But aromantic people are people that that have no romantic attraction towards anybody.
Okay, that sounds like a condition.
It's not a condition.
That's an orientation?
It's an orientation. People have this.
Aromantic?
Aromantic and asexual.
But don't you think,
there's lots of asexual people in the world.
I know nothing about what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay? Let me preface that.
You graduated from Mugs University.
Yeah, something like that.
MU.
Community University. No, but if you were to look at people who identify as aromantic, okay, is that the term? I want to make sure I'm using the right term.
Aromantic and asexual.
How many of those people were abandoned as children by their caregivers? Probably more than half. Wouldn't you say?
That's an assumption. We don't know that, so I can't say for
Oh,
sure. There isn't statistics on that.
I'm totally theorizing here.
Right.
Again, I know nothing. I went to Mugs Community University of Phoenix Online.
MCU.
So, but that's where I guess where I'm going with this, or as we learn about these terms, which I'm sure the majority of the KROQ listeners right now have never even heard of these terms.
Right.
So the aromantic just really strikes me. These are people you're saying that are born, because when I think of orientation, we're born that way.
No.
I mean, no?
No.
We're not born with orientation?
Well, you can, but you might not realize. I think when you say born, people are like, oh, then why didn't you know when you were 3? Like, you don't know.
But if we're not born that way, what the hell was that Lady Gaga song about?
You were born this way, yes.
Why have I been singing that all these years?
But I'm beautiful in a way. You were born this way, but it doesn't mean that you realize when you're young. There is a difference between born and realizing.
Yeah.
There's people who's gay and realize when they're 50. Have you seen those stories of like married men with 2 kids and a golden retriever and just coming out in their 50s? Like realization can come at any time. So going back to Adam, you could be bi-curious, and that's totally fine.
Well, I have a question. Because a lot of straight guys watch porn, right? I mean, people of every orientation watch porn. Why are straight guys who identify as straight, right? Why are they so comfortable watching naked men in porn but then they don't identify as bi or queer. I mean, and I'm one of them, right?
Yeah.
I've enjoyed some pornography in my time,
right?
Very seldomly.
We shall talk about that later.
Oh yeah,
the
please.
effects of that on your
Kevin
brain.
watches the ones with the storylines though.
Yeah, exactly.
No way, like the romantic one?
Yeah. You know what my favorite one back in the day was? There was one where a van would drive around and go into like supermarkets and like moms, like really attractive moms would be like grocery shopping, and strange men would just approach this mother and just say, "Hey, what are you doing?" She'd be like, "Grocery shopping." And then they'd be like, "Do you want to come in this van and hang out with us for an hour?" And then she would do it. And then so I thought that's how like you would pick up an older woman. And actually, if you want a real story, sorry, Adam, when I was about 13, 14 years old, I was like home from school one day, and I went up to this is a real story if any of my buddies are listening. I went up to a neighbor of mine's house who had a very attractive mother, and I was like, she was like, "What are you doing here?" Because her daughter was a classmate of mine. I was like, "I don't know. I was just seeing if you were around." And she goes, "Do you want anything?" I'm like, "No. Like, what do you do when like the kids aren't here?"
What are you
And she said, "Dude," in no uncertain terms, she was like, "Kevin, go home now." Yeah.
You deserve that.
Well, Kevin, you do realize in those videos you were watching when you were growing up, that was not real.
I realize that now. It's like what Tara was saying about aromantics. Like, you're born this way, but it takes a minute to realize. Like,
Right.
I didn't realize back then that there was a camera.
You expect her to say, "Well, in fact, I need some help with the dishes."
Oh, dude. I was like,
oh my gosh.
I'm like, my idiot friends are distracted and too busy playing Halo 2.
You, Kevin, not you.
I've got the answer. I've
have
got the
goals.
secret, right? Screw the controller. I'm going over that mom's house. And thank God. You know what? I want to shout out that mom, not by name, of course, but I want to shout her out because she never told my mom about it. So I never got in trouble. And
Why would you get in trouble?
probably because I was coming on to a classmate's mother, and I probably was supposed to be in school because,
Was
Maybe
it
if anything, you skipped school, so that's not good.
Yeah. In the name of love.
In the name of love.
Yes. Yes.
Although misguided love.
Yes. And whatever that van show was called.
We shall talk about your preference in pornography later.
Yeah.
That's a good tease. You're learning radio.
Yeah, exactly. That means something, Kevin, and I'm already thinking about it.
So, Adam.
Yeah.
You said that your brother was gay.
Yeah.
And you seem to be struggling maybe with, embracing some emotions you're having towards, men.
Mm-hmm.
How did your parents, if you don't mind me asking you, how did your parents treat your brother? If, did he come out? Is he out?
Yeah, so he's actually out. He lives down in West Hollywood. My parents, they were honestly okay with it. I think it's just more so, I don't know. I don't know how they would feel about having two potentially gay or men liking sons, if that makes sense.
That might be a tax break for your parents. There could be an upside.
Right.
We need facts on this. Do we have a tax attorney on radio?
I'm not a tax attorney, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn.
Hey, Tari, can you mute his mic? Just mute it.
I would say that whether or not you're gay or bisexual, there's lots of people like you, and there's no shame in being gay or bi, okay?
Well, obviously.
In fact.
Of course.
In fact, did you know that 2% of men in the United States are bisexual?
2%?
Mm-hmm.
So what is that? How many how many men are in the United States?
Oh, well, total of 333 people in the United States.
So like 150?
Yeah.
Probably. Wow, so what's 2% of that? Mugs, quick.
I went to MCU, Mudge Community College. You think I'm going to get that?
A Phoenix.
Let's see.
A Phoenix. Say the whole thing.
Let's see.
That's a lot of bisexual men you're saying, Tara.
3 million.
So then, Adam, what do you think personally, if you don't mind sharing on Loveline, what is the hang up for you? Like, what is your hesitation? Why not just go, yeah, man, like I watch football and the guys are hot and I'd love to know what those quads feel like. And there's no shame in that.
Right.
What is your personal hesitation? Because it sounds like your parents were great with, your brother, and you're with your brother coming out. So what is the hesitation?
Yeah, Kevin. Well, if I'm going to be honest too, my girlfriend has actually expressed to me that she's willing to have a threesome with me and another guy.
Sounds great.
I think it's just like a me thing, but I based off of what I'm hearing, like maybe I'll dive in. Maybe I'm just scared to see who that person would be, but I feel like it would authentically be me. But yeah, it's almost like as if everything's lining up, if that makes sense.
Well, and I think this is a universal human experience. You know, Adam's going through it right now with his sexual identity, you know, the orientation and embracing that. But there is something so funny about like what we do. We have so much anxiety about just being who we are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially our sexuality. It's one of the most, I think people are most scared about their sexuality. That's why they don't ever talk about it. People don't talk about sex in a healthy way, in an informative way. But that's why this show is great.
Oh, yeah. And now hopefully Adam, right, he can
Yes.
more embrace himself. And then hopefully maybe a younger listener tonight can go and knock on that neighbor's door with the attractive mother and say, Kevan
Please
Kenney
don't.
did that. And I'm going to do it too, gosh darn it.
Stacy's mom got it going on.
Please don't do that. But did you know, and since, you know, the topic of threesomes was brought up, that there's research that's done by Dr. Justin Le Miller at the Kinsey Institute that found threesomes is the #1 sexual fantasy in America.
By who? Everybody?
Wow.
From
Women,
the study.
men?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How do you conduct that study?
Self-report surveys.
But
But
like,
he
can people
surveyed
get
a
involved
lot
with
of
that?
people. Yeah.
So what, does he just have a bunch of sort of like lab rats have threesomes, you know, proverbial lab, you know, and then they go, hey, did you like that? How does it work, do you know?
Sure.
I want to see the stat on when fantasy turns into letdown.
Threesomes are tough.
Is this personal experience?
Yeah.
No, threesomes are really tough. I was
Yeah,
in
they
I
are.
was in the city of Pittsburgh one time, and
Of course it's in Pittsburgh.
yeah, I was in Pittsburgh, and
Why did I already know?
Pittsburgh, by the way, I got to shout out to Pittsburgh because, of course, KROQ is huge in Pittsburgh. That is a city you would think is just awful. You know, if you grew up watching like All the Right Moves with Tom Cruise, or just, you know, you think of the thought of Ben Roethlisberger and what that guy looks like, you'd be like, that city probably sucks. That was a great nightlife city. They have some fantastic gentlemen's clubs. I had to specify because Tara goes to the other kind of clubs.
Yes.
And anyways, so I tried to have a, what do they call it, a menage a trois?
Mm-hmm.
I tried to have one of those with my girlfriend at the time, and I thought, this is the best. I finally met a girl, and she's into this stuff, and like I was younger, I was in my 20s at the time. I go, this is the best ever. So we finally meet a girl off one of these dating apps, and we meet at this strip club in Pittsburgh. And she gets there, and something I couldn't account for, and I just want to say this on Loveline because maybe if you're somebody interested in a threesome, maybe you're not accounting for it, is the energy of that person. And I've been in a couple different situations with threesomes where the energy of the person is not what you anticipate, and I think it's very, and by the way, just to be clear, what I'm talking about with energy is they're typically, the third is always typically more into one or the other. And it's really hard
That's
to...
a common problem.
Yeah, and so it's like that night in Pittsburgh, she was way more into my girlfriend, and I sort of have like a...
And how did you feel about that?
Well, I mean, how I felt about it and what I did are two different things. I sort of I don't want to be a burden, right? We can unpack that on a future episode. So I just, you know, it's like the host in me. I want to make sure everyone else is cool. Like, yo, dude, like I don't want to be in anybody's business. And so I kind of wanted them to have a nice night. I didn't care, right? And that was just not being communicated non-verbally with two drunk women. And so what happened was we got back to the hotel room, and I didn't know what to do, and they kept inviting me over to the bed. And so I just thought, fight or flight, flight. And I ran out of this room hoping, they won't chase me. They're having a grand old time undressing each other on the bed. And then I look behind me at this Holiday Inn, and they're chasing me. And I'm like, no, I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone. Chased me all the way out to the mean streets of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and had one of the most awkward hash outs of all time. And I think that, you know, I wish I could say that was the last time I ever tried a threesome, and it wasn't. It should have been, but it wasn't.
But that means that you were an important part of this menage a trois. So doesn't that make you feel good?
Yeah, important, like how anything that ends something is important. You know what I mean? It's like when the cops show up to the house party in high school. The cops were important. That I was important to the threesome.
The outcome, not so much. Okay, well, Adam, I do think that, you know, being young and sexually active, it's important to always have safer sex. So just make sure you wear a condom whenever you are engaging in these sexual encounters. Whether or not it's one person, two people, or four, right? Doesn't matter.
What if there's six?
No shame in that. No shame in that either.
But
as
a condom
long
with
as it's-
six?
Well, change your condom every time you are penetrating a new person. Thank you for clarifying, Kevan Kenney. But yes, you know, whatever it is, as long as it's consensual and pleasurable, you are all good. So just make sure that the first step, though, is you going on this journey of embracing yourself, whether it be gay, bi, pan, whatever it is.
Thank you, Dr. Tar. I really appreciate that. And thank you too, Kevin.
Thank you. Hey, Adam, call back in if you do that threesome.
Oh, I will.
After Loveline, the craziest question.
What's the craziest question you've ever gotten on Loveline? Loveline with Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara. We'll be right back.
This is the world famous KROQ.
This is Loveline.
KROQ.
Welcome back to Loveline, world famous KROQ. Kevan Kenney, not a doctor. Dr. Tara, a doctor. And if you want to call this show, 833-LOVE-191 is the phone number. And that's the OG phone number, isn't it, Muggs?
Well, it's slightly different.
Oh.
The old one was 800. And I guess they
Now
don't
it's
use 800
833.
numbers anymore.
Okay. Well, you were so excited. This guy's been talking all week about how this is the old number
no.
and it's so great.
No,
I used to call it so much.
I mean,
I would run through Lubriderm in a week.
the process of getting this number was insane.
Yeah. We'll talk about that
yeah,
later. Yeah. I have a caller right now that's more interesting than what you're talking about.
You asked me about it.
Okay. Tara, mute his
Boy
mic.
fight.
Tara, mute his mic.
She doesn't have a button.
We have Jason Vest on the phone. Jason Vest, he's actually a buddy of mine. He's 40 years old, lives in Austin, Texas, and his username on... Actually, can we say his username on the air?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
His username is Poopy McGee.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
So he's one of the most professional people I've ever met, and he is like a big proponent for, I guess, sex positivity. He probably wouldn't say that, but I would. And when he heard that Loveline was coming back, he said, "Could I call in?" And I go, "Well, if you can get through." And then so he got through, and then my friend Jason is on the line. Jason, say hello.
What's up?
What's going on? Say hello to Dr. Tara.
What's up, Dr. Tara? How you doing?
Hi,
right.
Jason.
Jason, you told me that your wife got mad at you, and I actually have met your wife. She's a very kind lady. She got mad at you when you told her, "Hey, I'm into some backdoor action."
Well, no, she didn't get mad at me. We got into a fight about something else. I ate an entire jar of peanut butter in the middle of the night, and then we got into this huge fight, and then it ended with, "I'm sorry I got mad and yelled at you, Jason. Do you want me to, I don't know, practice a little European birth control?" I don't know how you'd call it, but and she just threw it out there. Like, she kind of knew I was into that, but that was like her lead-in because she got really mad at me.
Well, you know what's so funny is we were talking to a guy in Northern California named Adam who's trying to navigate his sexual identity. He's having some feelings about men. He's traditionally dated women, and how we were talking about this phenomenon, Dr. Tara and I, about how in life sometimes it's a lot more obvious to other people who we are than the lies we tell ourselves, right? And so people can tell, I remember a famous MTV True Life episode back in the day where people were living a double life, and there was a guy who was closeted, and the big, ultimate moment on the episode of True Life was that he came out to his best girlfriend. And it was so underwhelming because she just goes, "Well, yeah, I've known."
We all knew.
Right. And so it seems like, Jason, I don't think it was the peanut butter or the theft of your wife's peanut butter that inspired this. I think that she always knew, and this was her kind of opportunity.
Maybe, I don't know, but I know I got a lot of dudes in the DMs like, "Hey, I want to do that," but I'm just afraid of how they'll lead in. Like, my wife knew, she kind of probably already kind of knew I was into that,
Could it be your Instagram handle being Poopy McGee?
Yeah, and I started making videos talking about, and my wife's like, "Well, do you really like that?" And I'm like, I don't know. And then, long story short, next thing you know, she offered it up after she got really mad at me.
This is a cautionary tale to any woman who weds a stand-up comic. Verify before the wedding day if it's a bit or not.
She's like, "Man, you talk a lot about that stuff." And I'm like, "All right."
Your whole public identity involves butt stuff. Is that of interest to you? So, Dr. Tara, explain to me the phenomenon of butt stuff, because I think there has been an explosion in the past, and that's no pun intended. Don't you dare say anything, Jason. But there has been an explosion in the past, let's say 10 years, of this phenomenon of, let's call it, heterosexual
Anal
butt
sex.
stuff. Not just anal sex, though. I'm trying to think of how we can describe this. All sorts of varieties of stimulation back there. And I remember the first time a woman ever propositioned me with anything in that region. I didn't even know we offered flights back there as a heterosexual airline. And then lo and behold, I was traveling there, quite a bit on these dates where it would always come up. They'd always want to go down there. And it's like, well, I guess we're flying to Aruba now, right? And so what inspired that? Do you think is that poor? And I'm talking to Dr. Tara. Jason thinks everyone's talking to him, so I have to tell him. Dr. Tara, the expert here. What do you think inspired that in the past, let's say, 10 years?
I think people are waking up. People are waking up to the fact that men, male, have their male G-spot 2 to 3 inches inside the rectum.
I think that's a myth.
It is not.
I think it's a myth.
No, it's not.
It's
Kevin.
not.
No.
It is not a myth. You can ask any OB doctor.
But you told me.
Go to an OB doctor and ask your doctor.
You're trying to tell me that it's like a mental thing, because I told Dr. Tara off air, I go, I'm not really into that. Like,
because
I'm not,
it's a mental thing for you.
But I'm not against it.
If you remove your mental block, right?
I don't think I have a mental
Come
block.
on,
You
Kevin.
100% have a mental block.
You don't want to fly to Australia? Come on, dude.
Come on.
A geography lesson from Muggs
University.
Yeah, of
Muggs Community
Phoenix.
College.
Online.
No. It is not a myth. It's true. It's your anatomy, and all men have this. And the reason why some straight men have problems with it is it's totally mental. It's a mental block because 2 reasons. 1, they think it makes them gay for liking any kind of stimulation around
That
the
doesn't
anus.
apply to me though. I don't have those hangups, and I've let a couple dabble.
Right.
And it's like it's
Okay.
kind of like a refrigerator that doesn't work. It's
Then
just like
2,
it just
then
feels
you're
like
the 2.
Yeah, what's the 2?
Which is you lack sexual exploration of your body.
That's definitely not true.
That's sexual. Have you? Okay.
Yeah.
Have you had stimulation elsewhere apart from just your penis?
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean? What kind of question is that? Of
Well,
course.
have you had like nipple
I'm
stimulation?
I'm not like,
have
don't touch me other than right there.
It sounds like that's who you are now, Kevin. That's
the role play I like.
What, like
Bad girl.
Like crocodile? What's that guy?
Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, no. Steve Irwin?
Muggs mentions Australia once, and now she's like naming all these Australians.
Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
No, but
Royal Otis.
Some people have mental block in as in they don't explore their whole body. Have you ever heard of the term erogenous zones?
Yeah, of course.
What is it?
It's like places where it feels real good.
Okay, love that definition.
Yeah.
Yes.
I fly there, baby.
It's places with optimized arousal.
Yeah.
Right? So
That's why you kiss a girl's neck, Like if you don't know what you're doing, just those are safe zones. Those are like if you're right underneath the if you can't play basketball, just hang at the public courts, just hang out underneath the hoop.
Oh.
And that's where you want to hang out. If you don't know how to please a woman, you kiss the erogenous zones.
Okay.
Yeah.
But did you know that everyone's erogenous zones is different?
Really?
Yes.
How unfortunate would it be if it was like your knee?
That would be amazing.
Really? Where are yours?
Toes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, don't get Jason going. Jason Best on the phone here. He's like the biggest foot guy.
Is his other username like
He's getting
toeenthusiast.com?
He probably does have a burner, honestly. I'm surprised he hasn't had an OnlyFans started yet between him and the wifey. What's up with the toes thing? Can we just transition to that really quick before, I think we've talked a lot about, we've hung out about for the past 10 minutes in the backyard. Can we go to maybe like the front steps and the toes? What is your fascination with toes?
Oh, I love feet.
Why?
I do. I don't know what it is, and I think it's, and I don't like anyone to judge me or anything, but my mom made me used to trim her toenail when I was a kid. And
Okay.
I think I've loved feet ever since then.
Yeah, and are you saying you're not sure if that's the reason or not?
No, I know that. It has to be the reason. Because my mom would be like, trim my toenails, and I'm trimming my mom's toenails, and then later on in life, I see celebrity feet. I see celebrity feet, and I zoom in and look at their feet. I like my wife's feet, and when she's getting a pedicure, I'm leaving the Yelp review, But I like celebrity feet, like Gypsy Rose. I call her Gypsy Toes, man. I love Gypsy Rose feet.
Who has the best feet right now in Hollywood?
Ooh.
The best feet right now in Hollywood?
Yeah.
You want my opinion?
Yeah, that's why I asked.
I would say Tia Mowry.
Who's that? Do you know her?
Tia Mowry.
Why does Muggs know who that is and no one else does? Who has the best feet?
Tia Mowry.
Can you Google that? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, sister. So did she play both roles, or are there?
She's a twin sister.
Oh, there are two women. Okay.
I need to see her feet right now.
Yeah, Google the feet. Wait, she's a twin though, Jason. So isn't it like kind of like a spearmint gum, like double the flavor, double the fun? Is the twins?
No. Tamara isn't as liberal with it.
Oh.
Oh.
A little more conservative with the shoes?
Dude on Fox News.
Huh.
There's a lot of photos of her feet online.
But I think this speaks to he's really. Oh wow. Okay.
Look at you, Kevin.
Wait, let me see that again.
Are you into feet now?
Let me see that again. What does that say? JasonVest.com? Oh, okay. No, this is from, it must be a gallery or something on your website. Hey, Jason, I think that you sound like a real expert. I know Dr. Tara is the sexpert, but you really do know your feet. I mean, that was a deep cut, a 90s sitcom actress, and you know that she has the best feet in Hollywood right now. You're sort of on this beat. Would you ever be open to doing feet reviews for Loveline on social media?
Absolutely, man.
Okay. All right. Very, very cool. But Tara, do you know anything about this foot fetish that is so popular? Because I'm a guy. I'm open-minded. It does not take a lot for me to get turned on by women in general. But feet, I'm just like they're almost like asexual to me. Like
feet are sexy.
Why?
I mean, it depends on whether or not you are someone that just thinks feet are sexy, or if you have a foot fetish.
But why? Do you know the why? And not to put you on the spot here on Loveline, but like, what is the why? I'm more curious. What is the fundamental why?
Just because you don't think something is sexy doesn't mean other people don't. We should go back to like sexual attractiveness, right? Like who you're dating, you may rate like 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Someone may rate 5 out of 10.
Right.
Same thing with
How dare you?
Same thing
Brit's
with like
a good woman.
Let's say like knees. You just mentioned knees. Like you're like, "Oh, I wouldn't be into knees." But I'm into knees. I think knees are hot. Like there are men that wear shorts with bad knees.
You're into knees?
I am into knees. And when men wear shorts with bad knees, I'm like, "Oh, he's not attractive." If you have good knees, and I'm like, "Ooh, that's hot." So it's the same thing with feet. Why are we patronizing these guys that have foot fetishes when it's like obviously feet can become very sexy to some people. But if you want to know some of the origin stories that are being theorized in the sexuality scholarly world right now, we don't have data on this. But some of the theories is that if you're looking at people that have foot fetishes, it develops since typically young age.
Like, well, Jason, who said that he cut his mother's toenails.
There you go.
Okay.
Yes. So, for example, if the very first time you look down at your teacher's like feet or, feet wearing high heels and it goes click, click, click.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that time, just correlationally, you have an erection as like a 14-year-old would. Like when you were 14, you have random erections all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of it correlates to looking at feet, and therefore you develop this liking.
Who looks
for
down?
feet.
If you're gonna look down anything, wouldn't it be the blouse of the teacher?
No, some people just look down at feet. Like they
Really?
look down. Yeah. This is a running theory right now that's very popular.
But I guess my question more so is like to dive even deeper is like, hips are attracted to us. Large breasts are attracted to us because it communicates
Some
on
people
a primal
like small
level.
breasts.
That's true, but I'm saying it communicates on a primal human level fertility to the male brain, right? Which is attractive to us on a level that we don't even understand, right? But that hip ratio, the large breast, the endowed behind, if you will, right? Look at these big words.
MCU.
Yeah.
Of Phoenix.
The mugs.
But what is it about feet?
Yeah, if you want to go the route of evolutionary theory, because what you just mentioned is evolutionary theory based, right? Like how we basically become these humans that have these types of attraction. If you want to go that route, then the theory would be that people with really nice feet care about themselves more and have more resources to do so.
So then why am I not into feet?
Then maybe that's not the point of interest that you have.
Right.
Yeah, for you, maybe you're not interested in women that have resources. Maybe you're interested in women that perhaps can bear you children because that's like a deep desire to have children in the future. Perhaps you are interested in women that are tall because you feel like tall is an evolutionarily advantage. Perhaps you like short women because comparing to you look taller and that gives you confidence. So there's all kinds of different, theories that go around why you would be attracted to something.
Do you think, were you like allowed to be who you wanted to be as a kid?
I would say not completely.
So do you think that's maybe like why you liked the attention?
Probably.
Isn't that interesting though? I think that's interesting.
It is interesting. We definitely are who, we grow up to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have lesbian porn to thank for who you are, and I have Freak-a-Leak, Petey Pablo to thank who I am.
There you go. What about you, Muggs?
I have nobody to thank. Muggs Community University of Phoenix.
You know who Muggs has to thank? And I'll explain this when we get back from break. Muggs was very influenced by the Silence of the Lambs. Okay?
Oh yes.
Oh, we got to talk
Buffalo
about
Bill.
that.
Yeah.
We got to talk
and
about
we'll
that.
get into that. Hey, Jason, stay out of trouble there in Austin, Texas.
All right, thanks, guys.
Loveline will be right back.
Loveline on KROQ.
No one else can find the trouble so quickly or repair it so economically.
Loveline's coming right back. Hang on.
KROQ. And now, back to Loveline.
Loveline with Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara.
Loveline on KROQ.
She drives me crazy. It is Loveline. I did not ask for backup vocals there. 833. Do they have to dial the 1?
Not from a cell phone.
Okay.
We haven't tested that theory from a landline.
If you're using a rotary phone at Muggs' parents' house, 1-833. Otherwise, for everyone else on Earth listening to Loveline on KROQ right now, it is 833-LOVE-191. It is Kevan Kenney, Dr. Tara, our sexpert. Paper Magazine has named her the leading sexpert. And if you disagree, you're wrong. All right, now before we went to break, we were talking about sexual influences, these things that inform us in our childhoods and early upbringings that really dictate what we're into. I mean, I learned that a lot of what I'm attracted to in the opposite sex is just basically because of early 2000s rap videos, that I loved the music and especially was fixated on the visuals. Dr. Tara may have not been able to express herself as freely as a lot of people aren't as able to do as children, and that led her down a disgusting path of lesbian porn. And Muggs, we told you before break, was very influenced by the film The Silence of the Lambs, and you have a thing now for, I can't believe I'm saying this, cannibals, Muggs.
Well, I don't know. Wait, first of all, I don't have.
You're not going to deny it, because then I'm just going to tell the story.
I think somebody gave you the wrong information. No, I'm not. I don't have.
The information came from you.
Yeah, but I mean, it was sort of inadvertent. I had a thing for cannibals because when I found out this person was a cannibal or wanted to do cannibalistic things, then I was sort of standoffish.
Just as a baseline general question, just based off what you just told us. So you didn't know this person was a cannibal, right? You find out she was a cannibal.
I think she's still not a cannibal. I think.
Let me just ask this question.
I don't think she is. I think you guys are being extremely exaggerated.
Have you seen the text messages?
No.
Okay. So just before we even get to the text messages, I just want to ask you a simple question, because you said you were inadvertently attracted to a cannibal. So you were attracted to someone that would insinuate, and then you found out they were a cannibal. Just a question. Did you ever hang out with this person after you knew they were a cannibal?
Yes, but I didn't know that.
Oh, Muggs.
I didn't know.
Why are you doing this? It's case in point.
I didn't know that this person would. Like I said, I don't think this person's a cannibal still. I think this person was in a rough time in their life, and they might have said some things that were on the lines of cannibalism towards me, but I don't really think this person wants to participate in it. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
It could also be metaphorical.
Have you ever had a long day, Tara, and you come home and you're frustrated and your partner's there and you kind of go off on them and you threaten to eat them?
No.
Well,
neither have I.
I mean, look, it wasn't necessarily that scenario, but no, I was seeing this person, then we became friends, so we weren't really even seeing each other. And some stuff happened, a lot of drama. And long story short, this person informed me that, they got really mad at me about something, that they wanted to then eat me. And I said, like cannibalism? Or like sexual? What do you mean? And they're like, no, like cannibalism. And I was like,
and tell them why. The reasoning is even more terrifying.
Yeah, I was like,
what did you do?
Because I asked. My next question was, why did you want to resort to cannibalism in that moment?
Muggs goes, out of everyone in Los Angeles, why me? I wouldn't even taste good.
A lot of sodium.
A lot of sodium.
No.
I'm on a low salt diet.
This person responds with, because I didn't want you to ever leave me. That way you can never leave me.
Now, just to reset, because that's part of my job here as host of Loveline, to reset for the audience, this man then heard that and hung out with her again.
Well, slow down, Kevin. No. I heard that and I was deeply
turned on.
Not really. No. I was concerned more than anything that this person was in a psychosis at the moment. So
What would give you that idea?
So I called people close to this person to inform them, like, look, you got to reach out because I'm hearing some stuff that, look, I'm into some, as Beetlejuice says, I'm into some freaky stuff, but this is next level.
Hey, you better go check on Nancy. I think she needs in and out. She's really hungry. When's the last time she's been fed?
Give her a double-double.
But so then I contacted the people who were close to her, and then she ended up going, getting medical care from it. So since then, I have hung out with this person because they are on the path of getting better, and I think cannibalism is now out of the picture.
Well, also, though, just to keep an open mind here is, in this town today, it seems like everybody's using Ozempic, right?
Right.
To slim down. Mugs may be a little bit more progressive. Why spend money on a drug? Why not go the natural, holistic route? And if you want to lose weight, just find somebody who loves you enough that will eat the parts of you you no longer want to have.
Yeah, I still don't think that that's true. I think it's
Can you
metaphorical.
show her the text?
I still think it's metaphorical. And also, have you seen, the girlies on the internet where they go like, oh my God, you're so cute, I want to eat you.
No, that's very different than those people were not. They were this woman. He says
because the girlies will say things like that.
That's very different. Like when you're holding a baby, like you're so cute, I could eat you, right? Or like your little dog, right? This woman
what I say to my husband.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, you're so cute, I want to eat you. I'm not a cannibal.
Do you think Armie Hammer's a cannibal?
Well, that's a different story.
I think that guy's a cannibal, and I think this lady's a cannibal, and I think Muggs has a death wish hanging out with her.
Oh, Muggs.
No.
So what do you do now?
Monitor the situation closely.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, she seems to have gotten better mentally and physically. And so, I don't know.
Why did you look so excited when you said and physically?
Well, because she was not looking great, when this situation occurred.
Aren't men so shallow?
No, I'm saying
Men are
she looked sick.
on this
Boo,
lady's
man,
look.
boo.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't mean it that way.
Wasn't looking good.
The mugs of the world.
The woman loves you. She wants to eat you. You're commenting on how she looks.
Love her back.
She physically looked not well. That's what I'm
see.
saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Not
were
attractive.
concerned
Try
about
to
her
save it.
health.
Try to save it.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, good luck.
So, you ever think, Muggs, though, that you just should stop going to this bar? Muggs goes to this bar, right? And all of his problems, whether he realizes it or not, right? Because we all have this in the workplace. I'm Muggs's therapist, right? I'm Muggs's, we have a, what was it called? Bi-romantic?
Yes.
What was the term?
Aromantic.
No.
When you're romantic orientation.
Yeah, so we have a romantic orientation, Muggs and I, right? We're thinking about getting a place in Palm Springs. And then we spend a lot of time together at work, and we sort of we vent to each other, right?
Does it ever turn sexual?
No.
Not yet.
There was that one night.
No, there wasn't. Nights, dude.
No, I think I said no. Yeah,
Oh,
I think I
okay.
said no. He
Okay.
suggested it, and I was like, not now. We work together. If we didn't work together, who knows? No,
Right.
but in
None
all
of this happened.
seriousness, I hear about all these problems, and I love this guy so much, and they all stem, the origin story, we were talking earlier tonight about origin stories in terms of sexual preferences, the origin story of his problems are all from this one bar. If this bar burned down in the San Fernando Valley, right? If you ever went home and you've been on KTLA, if you turned on KTLA and you saw that this bar burned down, oh my God, if I could buy stock on this guy, because his life would be out of here. He'd
be on the rise?
Oh my God, within a week he'd be on Shark Tank. I'm telling you, if he gets, because everything stems from this bar. And
will you give this bar a shout out or no?
No, of course not. I don't want to hurt their business. You know what I mean? I really don't. I mean,
Because of Muggs' problems?
Yeah, I used to work in bars, and so I knew the town drunks, and so I don't think we should harm the bar because the town drunk happens to produce our radio show.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
I disagree. I feel like Muggs looks very responsible. I don't think
Really?
he's a town drunk.
Okay. When's the last time you? I'm just curious. Went to Lens Crafters?
Lens craft.
Yeah. When's the last?
He's
eye
saying
exam?
he's making a terrible joke that you can't.
I
don't know what you're looking at.
I was
You
taking
can't.
that literally, and I'm like, I see just fine. Although I do have a bad eyesight. Sorry, Muggs.
That's all right.
Now,
I appreciate you, Tara.
And not necessarily related to Muggs' situation with the cannibal, but Tara, as our leading sexpert here on Loveline, how would you advise a grown man to remove himself from toxic situations romantically?
I would say typically when I answer this kind of question, it always goes back to what is your attachment style? Have you heard of that?
Didn't we talk about that earlier?
I think we did. Can I guess his? This is how well I know this guy. Okay. So, I'll describe it, and then you tell me, give me 3 options, and I'm going to predict what Muggs' attachment style is.
Okay, so there's 4 options.
Okay.
Secure, You're like, no, it's not that one. Dismissive, preoccupied, fearful.
Oh, I thought this was. I'm thinking of different attachment styles. Which one of those is like? Here's Muggs' problem. He has too big of a heart, and he's very easily distracted.
Explain.
So Muggs, like, you know how if you met, say like Reggie Bush, right?
Okay.
He would, one of the first things that he would probably tell you about is he won the Heisman Trophy in 2005 because it's a huge accolade. The way that Reggie Bush probably tells people in Los Angeles when he runs into them that he won the Heisman in 2005, Muggs tells people he was diagnosed with ADHD at 7. So Muggs will contend that he was like the first person in California
before they added the H, Tara. Before it was ADHD,
It's just ADD.
it was just ADD.
Right, yeah. He had like the bunny ears. Remember the bunny
Yes.
ears?
Yeah.
He had the bunny ears on his pill bottles back in the day.
Oh.
He could only get 5 channels on his ADHD meds.
They gave me Ritalin in 4th grade.
Because you just can't focus.
I couldn't focus, and I was hyperactive and disruptive.
So as someone who loves Muggs, I
Right.
think it's the combination of those two things that he runs into trouble with. Where he has too big of a heart.
Okay.
So I think people with too big of a heart are just just waiting for predators that are narcissists and that they want to put people to use, right? So he's such a great worker bee, and he loves people so much. And I hope you don't mind me saying this. And I think that these women that are kind of crazy, like a cannibal, right? Just to use an example of a crazy type of person, he wants to help them because he's kind of a helper, And then
so
I think
you're a helper, and
I
that's
think
your
so.
problem.
I tend to dismiss a lot of the red flags or toxic elements of a relationship because I do. At the end of the day, I see the good in the person, and I want to see the good, and I know it's in there, and I've seen parts of the good come out of this person, but like it just doesn't.
When
happen
you're
a
in
lot.
a relationship, how do you behave? Are you someone that's like, I need a lot of space? Like,
It's,
I need freedom. I need a lot of space. Like, it's okay to not text all day. Like, it's
Yeah.
totally fine. Or are you someone that's like, oh, I want to like talk to her all the time. I want to see her all the time.
So I was the latter of what you just said. I was like that at the beginning of when I started dating. I was very,
Okay.
very clingy, attached.
Yeah.
But now, as I get older and I have all the stuff going on in my life, I definitely need space, and I do make
such a liar.
No, I do.
He
No,
is
I'm not
such
such a liar.
I'm not gonna
Your
sit
best friend
here.
knows you better.
You are such a liar. Let me tell you a story really quick. Okay, so he just again, he's
Tell us.
claiming that when he was younger, he loves doing this, by the way, because I don't do that anymore.
Okay.
And then I see him a couple days later, he's like, I did it again. He's saying that in his younger days, he was this big, he would love bomb people,
Right.
and he would just get really connected to people, right? There was a woman that he was obsessed with for months. That was so clearly not into this man.
No,
right?
no,
Oh my
no,
God.
no,
Let
no,
him
no.
tell the story.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
Then
exactly.
I'll make a rebuttal.
Okay.
You can call it
maybe.
you can call it the story, Tara.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Okay.
So this guy meets this woman, right, and immediately sends her bouquets of flowers for Valentine's Day. They are not dating. They've hooked up drunkenly a couple of times after this godforsaken bar everyone goes to, and then she is clearly, I'm reading these texts, he's confiding in me. She's clearly trying to get away from this guy and just make something up to get away from him. So she makes up this whole story that she's going to go to Orlando, Florida. Is that not the most made up town you've ever if you're trying to get rid of a creep in Los Angeles, ladies, tell them you're going to Orlando. Nobody lives in Orlando. Nobody goes to Orlando from LA. Tell them you're in Orlando. Okay? So this woman tells him she's going to Orlando. So I say to him, letting him down easy, right? I go, maybe it happened for a reason. Maybe it's good.
Yeah.
Just let her go out. You're not going to see her. Women love this guy, by the way. I mean, really, he's got that, laid back game, The only thing I've got is, maybe I can make him laugh or, maybe they think my job is cool, right? This guy could be in a room of, the Chris Hemsworths of the world. I'm being serious. I've seen it happen. I've taken him to parties, and women just gravitate to him because he's like a...
But is it women that need help? Because they can sniff.
Mostly.
They sniff a helper.
Mostly.
Very astute doctor.
Yeah.
So this woman goes to Orlando, and then he's like, I'm saying just, I would let sleeping dogs lie, right? So he goes, and this is the best part about Muggs, and you'll hear this if you listen to Loveline every week. He'll tell you, yeah, dude, you're right, bro. No, and he'll go, thanks so much, bro. Hey, bro, thanks for listening to me, bro. I'm glad we talked about this, right?
And then?
Comes back the next day, he's like, all right, so I got Tool tickets from work, and they're going to be a crypto, and so I invited her, and dude, she hasn't answered. Like, what's up with that, right? And so I go, so this woman who you're not dating, who you've slept with drunkenly twice, who has now told you she is traveling for 3 weeks for no reason at all to Orlando, Florida. His instinct goes, I'm going to invite her to one of the most insufferable rock bands in history who writes 6, 7, and 8-minute meandering songs that could literally put NyQuil out of business if they sold it in a bottle. And I'm going to invite her to that. And I go, oh, well, is she a big Tool fan? No. So I don't know if you're past. I don't think you're past some of these issues, Muggs.
Listen.
Muggs, you have insecure attachment style, particularly preoccupied. You need love and affection, and you validate your existence and self-worth through attention and affirmations from women.
Initially,
and that's
no,
why you are attracted to women that need help.
But hold on, Tara.
Is denial a sign of
I'm denying the rebuttal.
Because Kevin told that story partially true because she did go to Orlando, quote unquote, for a work thing.
You tell him the work
And
thing.
at the beginning of this whole relationship, she had made it clear that she was way more into me than I was to her at the beginning, and that's when she started love bombing me. That's when she started trauma dumping me, telling me about crazy details about her last relationship. And this stuff is like to the point where like it would get me feeling so bad, like of what she's telling me. Now I'm connected to this woman. Now we've bonded. So now she's pulled me in. Now she's getting the insecure, clingy me. Like at first I saw her at that bar 3 times before like we went home and slept with each other. And I knew on the first night it could have happened.
Yeah.
But I was playing it so cool and so slow. Yeah, she was attractive. I knew that right off the bat. But the more and more we started talking to each other, that's when she started love bombing me, trauma dumping me.
Right.
And that's where then I got attached. So she like once she hooked me in, she's like, meh, you know?
Okay, well, Max, it sounds like you need to stop going to that bar.
Can you describe just quickly, we're going to get to break right here, but can you describe maybe in less than 30 seconds the ideal partner that Muggs needs to be looking for? Because I have found, as distracted as he can be, if you give this man a task, he can execute it better than anybody. So as a doctor, Dr. Tara, can you give him sort of like an assignment of like, this is the type of woman that he needs to be looking for at dive bars in the San Fernando Valley?
Well, I don't know about that place, but I'm going to say you need to date a secure woman. A woman who has something going on in her life that she's passionate about, that she spends a healthy amount of time developing that and herself, and then developing the relationship with you. You cannot be dating anymore people that are all in on you all the time, because that is not healthy.
Yeah.
People who are not focusing on their own personal development, people who are not focusing on their own, whatever wellness, self-care, self-love practices, that's not good for you, Mark. So I would say, look for a secure woman.
What about a secure cannibal?
No, I'd
say... You need to stop going to that bar.
More Loveline coming up with Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara.
Call or text 833-LOVE-191.
KROQ.
Back to Loveline on KROQ.
With Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara.
More.
833-LOVE-191.
It is Loveline. You are listening to the world-famous KROQ. I am Kevan Kenney, Dr. Tara in the house, producer Muggs. Give out that phone number you love so much, Muggs.
833-LOVE-191.
And have we figured out, this being episode 1, have we figured out that is there a way to text?
Yeah, same number.
Okay.
833. Let me take that again. 833-LOVE-191.
Nice. We thought he could do it without messing up. He could not. Now, next is a segment we like to do here called Love Bites, and it's inspired by Dr. Tara, who, if you want to find her on social media, is at...
Lovebites.co.
Now, what is Love Bites taken?
What do you mean?
Well, why did you do .co?
Co.
Why not just make it Love Bites?
Because Love Bites
was taken. Yeah. What the hell are we talking about? Anyways, lovebites.co. I definitely just brought up a sore subject, I think. But in any event, world-renowned Dr. Tara, there is no better expert. You will soon learn that by subscribing to the Loveline podcast, or if you're just listening every week here on KROQ. And Love Bites is basically, how would you describe this segment, Dr. Tara?
Love Bites is quick bite-sized facts about love, sex, dating, relationships.
Okay, very cool. And what do you have for us today?
Well, Kevin, are you a quiet lover?
No. Well,
Okay.
It depends. I don't
Well-
know. I'm thinking about, am I receiving? Am I giving? I'm kind of like in football, they say, take what the defense is giving you. That's kind of what I am. Like, if this is a crazy chick and I'm like, okay,
gotta
she
be
wants
set up.
She wants some nasty talk. Like, I can get nasty. But at the same time, if that's not who my partner is,
Well, do you moan?
not like consciously. Maybe that's the best answer for you. I don't consciously make noises. If I'm
Okay.
gonna make a noise, it is probably
But
like,
when it's pleasurable, you make noise.
yeah, wouldn't anybody?
Not everybody.
What do they
So, No, not everybody. Some people are quiet lovers. Some people
Okay.
are silent. But moaning is necessary. Moaning is necessary in great sex. Research found that vocalization during sex contributes to higher sexual arousal and satisfaction.
Now, you just said that moaning is necessary in
Yes.
great sex. I don't
Yes.
know about necessary. Who's
It
saying
is.
it's necessary?
Research.
Moaning?
Yeah.
Well, okay, but is that research? This is what cracks me about research. It's even like when we do research here at KROQ. It's like, well, how are we positioning this question, right? You know, it's like we'll get research back at KROQ or any radio station, and you'll be like, really, this song is like testing. You know, is that popular? Well, how did we ask this question, right? And so with this, is it moaning compared to nothing?
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, then moaning's probably better than nothing.
Well,
but
obviously.
But I do think that performative moaning and performative behavior in the bedroom has never been worse, and it's both genders and all orientations, and it's because of pornography, man. I think
Yeah.
it's like I feel so bad if you're a woman that sleeps with men, the amount of bad, dirty talk that you have probably had to endure is so cringy.
You know, I have to say no. There's way more men that are so quiet. It's awkward.
You don't think there
Like
are
I would
bros?
rather them saying things that I'm like, this is weird, than like being quiet.
Give me an example of a guy that was quiet.
That was the example.
That's good. That's a good joke. No, seriously though, like what? Like so, what? He's just
Just
on top of you, and he's not saying anything.
Doing the deed and just go like maybe a little breathing, like, but then nothing at all. No moaning, no like calling me names, no, even saying things feel good or I feel good or I taste good, or not saying anything at all.
So, what is your favorite thing for a guy to do?
Compliments.
Okay, so you like sort of is that a kink?
Compliments are like a
Praise kink.
dopamine hit. Yeah,
Okay, so do you have a praise kink?
I do.
Okay, and that where do you think that comes from?
I have praise and power kink.
Okay, you're like Fatboy Slim over here. I need to praise you like I should. Shout out to the what is that? The Torrance dance group back in the day in the video. Remember that? You don't even know about that.
Shout out to them, yeah.
I didn't know
Guy
Torrance.
claims to be from here, and he doesn't even know
I'm not
about
from
that.
Torrance.
Are you from Torrance?
No.
South Bay.
South Bay is pretty nice. Though.
Yeah.
It is nice.
I do like that.
Don't say a damn bad thing about the South Bay.
Never.
Anyways, so you like for the guy to say what?
I can't say it on here.
Well, say it in a nice way. Say it in a nice way.
Say it in a nice way.
Say it in
Isn't
a nice
the way
way.
I like it.
Oh, so you like it. You like it. So, but you
I
like,
like dirty talk.
but you like it really dirty.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so do
Because
you?
it's so taboo, and it's like the only place you can hear things like that.
Yeah,
You
and
don't
it's
hear, like-
exciting. Why is taboo so exciting? It's just sort of like it's just scarcity. We don't hear it a lot.
Yeah, well, if you think about like the human psyche, right? We crave both chaos and stability. When there's too much stability and consistency, we get so bored and life's so dry and robotic. When there's too much chaos, then we can't have structure, we can't succeed, right? So human psyche needs both chaos and stability. And I think dirty talk gives you chaos.
Right. It's
Yeah.
kind of like
my life's so stable,
right.
but in bed I want a little chaos.
It's kind of like if Gladiator's on TV, I'm not going to watch it, but Gladiator 2? Ooh. The same thing, only different?
You haven't seen it?
No, I have
It's
not
so
yet.
good.
Oh, is it great?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. And then women, there's nothing, and Muggs, please weigh in here too. There's nothing less attractive when a girl is like trying to win an Oscar in the bedroom, and it's just like
Trying too hard.
because if you're a guy, and you know your way around, a couple bedposts, and you know what you're doing, you know what it should elicit. Does that make sense? So you know if you're doing an act, you know what it should elicit. So if you're doing something that isn't supposed to elicit some crazy reaction, and she's there, again, trying to win a Golden Globe, it's like totally takes me out of it. Like, you don't have to do this.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
Because like whenever people have low sexual self-esteem,
Yeah.
they tend to perform more.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what else can low sexual self-esteem, is that what you just said?
Yeah.
What else can that lead to?
So many things. Faked orgasms.
Right. Which is kind of what we're talking about, right?
Which women and men do.
But like, how do men fall for that? Because I feel like an orgasm feels so specific.
Some men have never known what it feels like.
Okay.
So maybe
that's
the
the
fake
issue?
one they think is real because that's the one they have always experienced.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think if you know what that feels like, it's hard to fake.
No, some women are really good. I mean, they can contract their vagina and
They go that far?
Yeah.
Have you ever gone that far?
Yes.
You've gone that far?
Yes.
Where you're contracting your vagina
Yes.
to get away from this guy?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a male equivalent to that, Muggs, you think?
Yeah.
I guess fake
Yeah.
and sick, right? Have you ever done that? Where I'm like, I don't like what's going on, and I'm just like, oh, my stomach hurts. I'm so sorry. Or like,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
But men also fake orgasms. There are tons of men that will pretend like
There are
they
not
just
tons of
orgasm.
men,
Yes,
though.
tons.
How
tons.
do you do that, though?
Tons of men fake an orgasm and then they will like pretend like they're orgasming and then they will pull out and then they will run to the bathroom and then take off their empty condoms.
Tons of men?
Tons.
Tons? So what is ton? Like a ton from a weight perspective is 10,000 pounds. You think 10,000 men are doing that?
Oh yeah, probably more.
No
10
way.
In the world,
No
yeah, more.
way.
No, like 1 in 5.
Why are they doing that? Because they can't finish, or
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they might be ashamed that they can't finish and therefore will pretend to finish and move on with life.
Man, who cares? If you
Lots
can't
of men
finish?
care. It affects the way that they present themselves as like
Yeah.
masculine and healthy.
Yeah. Also, I heard like some women get like insecure about that too, right?
Yeah, totally.
They can't
It
make-
can be a point of tension.
That's tons, okay? Tons of women get insecure about that.
About
'Cause
what?
If a guy doesn't finish.
Right.
Tons. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like they get hung up on it. What was that about?
Yeah.
You know, this, that, the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
See, I think that the more awkward situations that I need to like sort of like, or in my past, I've had to like sort of like step away from or fake sick is like if it like smells.
Oh.
Like if there's bad hygiene going on. And then
pH balance is off.
Yeah, man. Or just, I don't know, stuff like that where I'm.
Vaping.
What's that?
Like vaping.
Vaping causes pH balance bad.
Well, can cause the parts to smell a certain way.
So if a girl vapes,
like
it
smoking
might be
in general,
stanky.
not just I shouldn't just say just vaping, but all smoking cigarettes, like things
Really?
like that. Yeah, cigarettes and alcohol change the way you smell.
But chicks that smoke are kind of cool, don't you think?
Nah.
No? Are a lot of the girls at that bar, are they smokers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bar that you love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
vapors.
And vapors.
Yeah.
Are people smoking? You know what's interesting is people don't smoke cigarettes in LA, but I go to New York and it's all cigarettes.
I prefer cigarettes.
Yeah.
Really?
Over
vapes?
I mean, I don't smoke at all, like
So then what do you mean?
But when I do.
Oh.
Hold on, let me pull out my vape right now.
This guy. He comes in the other day,
You
right?
really should quit.
I know. Hey, Tara, when we kick this thing off, when we get going with this thing, beginning of the year, I'm done.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna hold you accountable.
I'm done.
Do you
That's
notice
gonna
this?
be your New Year resolution.
Do you notice what he just did? He said, when we kick this thing off. What is that? That we've kicked off. We've kicked off.
Well, he's a little slow from the vape.
Yes.
I know. Well, he came
But
in.
he's gonna be so sharp.
He came up to me the other day and he goes, I relapsed. He doesn't say hi. He doesn't even like announce himself. I just hear a voice in the room and it's him across the room and he goes, I've relapsed. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, I didn't even know he was struggling with something, right? And I go, what the hell does that mean? And then I'm like, God, is it some hard drug? Like, what the heck, you know? And but it was the vape. He was just vaping again.
I stopped for a week, Tara.
I'm proud of you for stopping for a
And-
week. That means you can do 2 weeks.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I think the key to getting off vaping is? I'm being so serious right now. Start smoking cigs.
No, bro. That's why I started vaping.
No, but think about this. You can't smoke cigs indoors.
Right.
So if you went outside, you smoked a cig, you get the head rush,
definitely less.
and you go back inside, and you're also ingesting less nicotine through cigarettes.
Yeah, but then your fingers smell like cigarettes.
Which can be kind of hot for a lot of people.
Is that a
What
kink?
about you, Tara?
Yeah.
You like?
You
when
seem
guys
to be
smoke?
really
No,
into
you don't-
smoking, dude.
No, you don't like when guys smell like cigarettes. I can
No,
tell.
she definitely has like something with the cigarette. She keeps talking about it. You do.
That's it.
What's up with this?
Why are you investigating this?
I just think this is interesting. Like, you don't smoke, but you're
I
like
feel
really
like you're
into
attacking
cigarettes.
me.
No, I just think she's clearly like had a sexual experience with a guy that was good, and he smelled like cigarettes.
Yeah, but there's a difference because there could be a really like clean cut guy that smokes cigarettes, so it's like a little mixture of like cigarettes and cologne. But then you have like the
There
guy,
you go. Wow.
Then you have the guy who's like not very like well kept,
Who's stinky.
who's stinky, then smokes cigarettes. He smells
gross.
2 times as bad.
Right. Gross.
Twice as bad.
Why are you talking in the third person like that?
I don't smoke cigarettes.
Well, we have a lot to get to on Loveline, and Muggs, you're telling me that we may have somebody on hold here. This is
we do.
This is Blake. So Blake is a gay man, and he's gonna try something sexually that he hasn't for quite some time. We'll leave it at that. We got more Loveline coming up quick.
More Loveline coming up with Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara.
Call or text 833-LOVE-191.
KROQ.
Bow chicka wow wow. It is Kevan Kenney, Dr. Tara, producer Muggs. You are listening to Loveline on the world famous KROQ. We have to. Well, honestly, we have to give Muggs something to do. So Muggs, would you like to give out the phone number?
1-833-LOVE-191.
Very nice, Muggs. Very nice. Now, we have a caller here, and according to the little sheet of paper that Muggs just gave me, this is Blake. Blake is gay, and it says here that Blake hasn't bottomed for a long time, and he is nervous, and he doesn't know what to do. I sure as hell don't know what to do about that, and that's why we have Dr. Tara. Dr. Tara, Loveline, please welcome Blake.
Hello.
Blake, tell us what's going on, brother.
Yeah, so it's been a hot second since I've done the anal sex of gay male mating, and so I kind of want to get back into it. I miss it. It's been a hot second.
Blake,
I've topped recently, but it's been a while since I've bottomed. So I think there's just some anxiety around it.
Blake, do you think that this drought you're experiencing is at all tied to how you describe the act?
Yeah, possibly. Maybe that produces the anxiety.
But in all seriousness,
oh my gosh.
This is fascinating to me because it's something I wouldn't deal with as a heterosexual.
You totally can.
Yes,
but I'm saying
yes,
I
you
don't.
can.
I'm saying I don't.
But you
necessarily.
can.
Are you curious?
Kevin,
Oh,
maybe
no, of course
you're
I
missing
can.
out.
I definitely have the anatomy to do both of these things.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I have never gotten around to it. It's on my to-do list.
So
But
both of us are feeling anxious about this.
a little bit.
There you
A
go.
little bit. I mean, as long as Blake doesn't know my home address, if you haven't shared that, I think I'm not that anxious. But
I know where he lives.
Yeah, exactly. No, but in all seriousness, Blake, what has got you really nervous? And maybe if you don't mind me asking, how different is the experience sexually when you are topping versus bottoming? Aside from the obvious, I'm just curious. Like, are the emotions different? Do you come away feeling different?
Definitely feeling different.
Well, of course, that, right?
Without a doubt, different sensations on different parts of the body. But I'd also add 2 different obligations. If you're topping, you have to be erect the whole time. Whereas if you're bottoming, and maybe Tara could attest to this, you don't necessarily have to be hard when you're bottoming. So it's just like a different set of obligations. And I feel like with bottoming, the obligation really is.
How do you get there, Dr.
Well,
Tara?
that's why I got
Blake,
Yeah.
enough out of you, Blake. Dr. Tara, how do you get there? What would you recommend?
You have to get there mentally, emotionally, and physically. So mentally, in order to get there, especially if you haven't bottomed in a long time, or actually anyone that's listening hasn't had anal sex, like you have to warm yourself up in 3 different ways. So first, mentally, I would say, telling yourself positive things like, this is going to be a great experience for me. I'm excited about this, rather than talking negatively about it, can really help prepare you mentally.
Blake, are you talking negatively to yourself about this?
Like, oh, it's going to hurt.
I think the anxiety does create those negative thought stories of oh gosh, I'm going to stress out. It'll be not pleasurable. So I think that's something that I have to remember. And it's easier said than done, isn't it, to get into that positive thought space? I'm gonna write that down and try to remember that. That's important.
So Blake, if you were to sort of out of 10 bottoming experiences, how many of those 10, your most recent 10, how many of those 10 would you say were pleasurable, and how many of those were not pleasurable?
I would say 6 or 7 pleasurable, 3 to 4 not necessarily not pleasurable, just I think anxiety got in the way, and I shut off, and I was like, this needs to stop. So, yeah, I'd probably be about there. So I know it's possible. It's just, again, it's been a hot second.
And do you have to do a lot of preparation?
Yeah.
I mean, I know women, I mean, obviously, there's no difference. I'm just speaking from my own experience.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of also prep of sort
physical
of like...
prep.
Yeah, like physical prep, like cleansing the area.
Yes.
And making sure it's sort of like, all lanes are clear. You can,
douche.
Yes.
Yes, you have to douche.
Yeah.
How
So
do you
for me,
douche?
I personally, I don't douche personally. If I'm going to do it, I try to eat a very, very high fiber diet, lots of chia seeds, some psyllium fiber in there, make sure everything's cleaned out, make sure I feel nice and clean. I don't necessarily, I'm not a personal doucher myself.
But I don't. Okay, so but this is interesting to me because I don't suffer from like this fear that I'm gonna unlock this this demon that loves butt stuff, this butt stuff demon inside of me, right? But I think for me as I think this through, I think it's just like, well, this option, right, brings me immense pleasure. And I have no problem with that pleasure. I'm pretty happy with that pleasure, right? That option. Then there's like a secondary option of like oral. And that brings me a lot of pleasure. I just don't think I need a third option. I don't know.
So there is a scale called sexual exploration beyond the norm.
Okay.
That I have created, and if you take this questionnaire, and if the answer is like you're scaling like really low, it just means that you don't have any desire in your natural tendency to explore things that are outside the norm, which is completely fine. That just means that that's just who you are. Some people have natural tendency to explore stuff beyond the norm in life. Like, people that eat like puffer fish. Some people go, no, I want to eat only pizzas and hot dogs my entire life.
But see, that's not me. And I don't mean to make it about me.
But you're also not eating like whale sperm and puffer fish.
I've had whale sperm.
Yeah.
Of course,
intentionally?
Yeah.
You've intentionally consumed it?
At a sushi restaurant in San Diego.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How
why
was
wouldn't
it?
you? Like, if it exists, I would try it too.
It was salty?
Yeah.
How did it compare to your own?
It's funny that you asked that because one time I accidentally tasted my own.
Really?
You should.
How'd that
Everyone
happen?
should.
How'd that happen?
The position I was in, laying down, and the way everything was situated.
Did you give yourself? You kind of did. You swallowed?
It went into your mouth?
No, I didn't swallow. It hit my tongue.
Swallowed!
It hit my tongue.
You know that? Hey, if you're
I
listening on
tasted it.
KROQ right now, you know that song by Bush? That's about beer mug.
That's impossible because that song was written before that happened to me.
I would hope, dude. All right. Hey, so Blake, and I'm sorry to derail the conversation here a little bit, but
you're fine.
So I'm curious though, like when you think back to your partners that you've bottomed with, and then you think back to your partners that you've topped with, do you hold them in different regard?
Oh gosh, that's an interesting question. I would say no. I don't think so. I think for me, I really like the emotional connection I have with somebody that I'm having sex with, and I like that feeling of closeness. I think when I feel closer to somebody during sex, it actually makes the sex feel more intimate, and therefore I feel more aroused.
And
I don't think.
Can you feel just as close as a bottom as a top, or is one inherently more intimate?
I feel. Again, as long as with the person I feel that closeness and emotional intimacy, I don't think the position matters too much to me. I think I can feel that arousal the same whether I'm topping or bottoming. It's just, I think for me, since it's been a while since I've done the latter, the bottoming, I need to get back into that mindset of like, no, this is good. We've enjoyed this before. It's just remembering those good things as opposed to maybe the anxiety I felt recently.
Now, have you ever heard of sides?
Yes, I have. That's a new thing I've recently learned about.
Yeah,
I'm like,
bro.
Oh shoot!
I'm
that's
hip.
really
I'm down.
interesting.
Check me out,
Right?
dude.
Can you define it
I'm
for
down.
us?
Yeah, so I have some friends that are sides. Do you know what sides are, Dr. Tara?
No.
You don't? Wow, look at me.
Wow, you
Look
stumped
at
her.
you.
Class is in session.
Is this from TikTok?
No, dude, this is from, I was going to make a dirty joke. No, this is from my friends that are gay, and there's sides out there. And so what sides are, and by the way, Blake, tell me if I'm wrong here, but what I gather is that there are people that are neither bottoms or tops. They kind of just like the side stuff. So, like, they enjoy giving oral. They enjoy receiving oral. Or I have some buddies, they just like to watch it go down. And then maybe they like, but
that means you're a cuck.
no.
If you like watching.
So
Well,
isn't it? You're only a cuck if
you're a cuck if your partner you like watching your partner.
Right.
So are they watching their partners?
No.
I love how we're trying to educate Dr. Tara.
I know. What's up with this, bro? You got to hang out with more sides, man. You know what I mean? So, but is that how you explain sides, Blake?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I would say. Everything but the penetrative. It's like, yeah, no topping, no bottoming, oral. Like you said, maybe more voyeur, watching people, maybe, yeah, that kind of stuff.
Well, Blake, do you know, because I know like quite a few gay guys that enjoy just giving oral. Like they don't even get oral. They just give oral.
Oh, yeah.
Is that common or no?
So that is not how I feel. If I feel definitely, I enjoy the reciprocity. God, there's that sexuality where you need the emotional connection to have arousal. What's that called? What is it?
Demisexual.
Yeah.
Is that like Demi Moore?
No, it's like
yes, exactly.
It's like if you're really into like Demi Lovato's music.
No.
That's what her fans are called. Isn't that what her fans are called?
No.
Oh, 10,000%.
No, her fans are children.
Not anymore.
Demisexuals are people that need a lot of emotional connection in order to enjoy sex with that person.
Oh, I think that's me.
No.
Can I ask you a
that's
serious
not
question?
you.
Can I ask a serious question? At what point do we stop coming up with terms? Like when do the terms become too niche? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's still so many experiences in life that don't have terms for it. So it's totally fine to have these terms.
I know,
it helps
but we're
people
just
like categorize and understand their human experience.
I get it. I'm just curious if there is like a sort of like a limit, like if we're gonna reach the end, you know?
Depends on who you ask, I think.
Never.
No, never.
Ever.
Do you want to invent the term right now, Muggs?
Yes.
What would you describe your experience when you swallowed your own self-serve?
You could have said it better myself.
Self-serve.
And by the way, just to be clear, this was before you had to pay 10 cents for a bag.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It was very uncomfortable, that whole thing. It hit my tongue, and it was automatically I was like, ugh.
And you know what I know is like he definitely went to KROQ that day, and like nobody knew that happened. Nobody knew that happened, man.
Is that why he was late?
Yeah. Now, do you have any closing remarks here for Blake, Dr. Tara? What he should do to sort of like mentally prepare for being a bottom again?
Oh, you know what you should do is start massaging with coconut oil to warm up.
Right now, Blake. Right
Right
now.
now.
Right now on the
Okay.
phone. Right now on the phone.
Oh,
I don't think you can do that.
Let me just run to the kitchen real quick and get some coconut
Yes,
oil, just
get the
really
coconut
quickly.
oil.
Let us hear that falsetto, Blake. Hey.
Okay, and coconut oil in particular?
Yes, it's really good because it's antibacterial.
And then you can if
okay.
it goes well, you can cook your special somebody like a meal afterwards in the skillet with the same coconut oil. Hey, in all seriousness, Blake, we're talking a lot about sexual stuff, but you must really like this guy, or must be really attracted to this guy to be considering bottoming after so long.
I am. Yeah, I'm feeling that emotional connection with this person. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to move it to this next step, and I really appreciate these steps are like the mindfulness, like thinking positively, warming it up, and two, maybe that's something I can have this person do too, like, hey, grab that coconut oil, warm it up before we.
Yeah, that's what's so great about Loveline is it really is sort of like a 21st century self-help show because it's like all those books we read as kids, right? It's believe in yourself, it's think positive, and then massage your with coconut oil.
Yeah, I read that book.
I mean, is that not the moral of every Dr. Seuss book? Is that not what that guy was getting after in all of them? You know?
Yeah, without a doubt. And now we just need to come up with a rhyme, a Dr. Seuss rhyme for that.
One oil, two oil, three oil,
I'm
four.
sensing a theme here.
If you give Dr. Tara a couple more episodes of Loveline, she will surely come up with a term that she can introduce for exactly what we're talking about.
I would appreciate that.
Blake, have an amazing holiday season, and thank you so much for making time to call Loveline.
Thank you, guys. I so appreciate it.
Loveline will be right back.
Loveline on KROQ.
No one else can find the trouble so quickly or repair it so economically.
Loveline's coming right back. Hang on.
KROQ.
And 'tis the season for holiday shopping. Muggs, are you all done with your holiday gift shopping?
No, I wait till the last possible minute.
Do you? You seem like that guy.
Every year.
Yeah. Dr. Tara, what kind of holiday shopper are you?
I'm a well-prepared holiday shopper.
So you're done?
I'm done.
Okay. 15 days into December, you're done.
Well, I brought you guys gifts, right?
Yeah, you did. You did. Actually, Muggs, what did she get you?
So she got me 3 Easy Beat eggs.
And these are, to paint the picture, because this is radio mugs, they look like little decorative eggs,
Yeah,
like
they look like
Easter
little
eggs.
Easter eggs.
Okay, but they're not just eggs.
No.
They're eggs you can have sex with.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I have the ripping.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Stay on the eggs.
Oh, okay.
So how do the eggs work?
So we got a mesh one, right? That's simulates anal.
Okay.
We got the
Classic.
the classic regular one, right?
What does that simulate?
Just like
Vaginal sex?
yeah.
Okay.
And then we have the one that simulates vaginal.
Well, wait, then what's this one?
That's the classic. Like
Yeah.
that's the first one that they created. So
Okay.
it's like it's gonna be like lubricated. It's gonna feel good, but it's not like new technology. The other ones are like new designs that they did research and designed specifically for certain feels, certain
Okay.
sensations.
All right. And these are for any lonely man.
Masturbation.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You don't have to
I
be
didn't-
lonely to
I didn't know-
masturbate.
I didn't know.
Masturbation is healthy.
Yeah.
And then now, so these are 3 eggs that you can have sex with, and you basically open up the egg, you crack the shell, and then you place your male reproductive organ into the egg.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
You could also just,
I'm excited.
meet a woman. But that's cool. You're excited?
Yeah.
I'm happy for you,
I'm
dude.
really excited to use it. And then we have the Rip and Dip Tenga.
Masturbation cup.
So this is a masturbation cup, and there's a cat on it. Why is there a cat on it?
It's a design.
So is that what it looks like inside? Can you open that?
Open it right now?
Yeah, open it.
Sure.
It's tis the holiday season.
All right.
Almost Acoustic
Hold on,
Christmas was last night.
Can you do a unboxing video?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course I can.
Okay.
It is not a cat inside.
That'd be
Well, there's a
awesome.
cat on the outside of this masturbation cup. If you're listening
It's a
to Loveline,
design.
we're having Muggs open his holiday present. If you could do this in a timely manner, Muggs, it is the radio. Thank you. Oh, he's ripping it off now. Yeah.
It's a Rip and Dip.
Yeah. Okay, so is that cat going to be on the inside of this?
No, it's a design.
Oh.
So
Let me
there.
see. Let me see.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to fit in there?
Of course, bro.
He'll shove it in.
Dude,
So that's all it is.
that's awesome.
Yeah. And the inside
How is
should
that not-
feel really good.
I'll be right
Okay.
back.
Yeah. Wow. Now, can you reuse that?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because where do you
can wash it out.
where do you deposit your ejaculate?
Some people do it inside. Some people pull it out and do it outside.
Okay. So
To
Muggs has
preserve it.
options.
Yes.
Okay, he can spice it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
That's
right.
awesome. I'm kind of upset I ruined the wrapper, though.
Yeah.
I want to put it up on the wall.
There you go.
It's
HR
okay.
HR will love that, man. Yeah, that's great. Hey, what's that thing in Studio O?
It's a masturbation cup.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Tara. And you got something for Kevin
You're
as well.
welcome.
I got an egg, which is very cool.
You only got
And
one,
wait,
though.
wait, you gave me, I didn't know there were different kinds. You gave me what does this one feel like? You don't know?
What does it say?
I don't know. It says Easy Beat Sphere.
Sphere?
Yeah.
That should feel like vaginal penetration.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So Muggs got the butt one.
And then that's the couple's toy.
Oh, that's cool. And then how does this one work? This is what I'm looking at. Looks like kind of like a purple U. Well, how does that work?
You use it together with your female partner.
Okay. Only works with the females.
Yes.
Okay. Right on. Well, thank you so much. You were very generous. Now, if somebody's listening right to Loveline and they're sort of holiday shopping, I thought it might be useful to run through some recommendations from Dr. Tara here on what to buy that special somebody, depending on who that special somebody is. Because, every partner's different. When you say Dr. Tara?
Oh, 100%. Because people will like different things.
Of course. Some people, right, they have a girlfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people have sex with eggs. It's like there's just so many different people
You
in the
mean
world.
Mugs?
There's so many. I'm not naming names here, of
gonna be
course.
great.
So, what should you buy? Let's just run through some maybe types of people. What kind of sex shopping should you do this holiday season if you have maybe a shy female partner?
A silent vibrator.
Ooh, okay.
So not all vibrators are created equal. Some of them are more discreet than others. And because of the advanced technology, kind of think of like hair dryer. Like there are hair dryers that are really loud, and there are hair dryers like Dyson that's really quiet.
It's a good point because when I'll be in like the barbershop and I'll see the hairdryer come out and I'm just like my brain just immediately goes vibrator.
Yeah.
And I have to go, no, it's a hairdresser. It's a hairdryer. It's a blow dryer.
I didn't know you were so sex positive, but
Yeah.
yes, I would say get a silent vibrator. There are quite a few brands that make them. They're advanced and they're silent, and then your shy female partner will feel really good. She's going to have an orgasm while not feeling bad about using the tool.
And think about it. She can take it to work.
Yeah,
There you
which
go.
I do all the time.
Sex-obsessed male partner. So let's say you have like a sex-obsessed male partner, a guy who's, real randy, I guess. What would you get that guy?
Self-pleasure mount.
Okay, what's that?
So-
Self-pleasure mount. So that's different than the masturbation cup that Muggs is still playing with.
Well, well, because that he has to like use his hand, right?
Okay.
But a mount is a mount of a butt with holes.
Okay.
With like the vagina hole.
I've
and
seen this.
Yes.
I've seen this, but
and you
but,
can just have sex with it.
But okay, so I've seen this, right? Where do you put that?
Your bedroom, your bathroom, your kitchen, your front yard, your.
No, what do you put it on? Like, how do if I were to want to have sex with that?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put it on the ground, am I?
No.
So what do you
can
put it on?
Put it on the bed.
Like an ottoman? Oh, like
No,
on the bed.
put it on the bed, or if
Okay.
you have like a stool, put it on the stool
And this is for the guy who just can't get enough.
or bathroom,
Okay.
bathroom counter. Yeah, this well, you're saying it's a sex-obsessed male partner. If he's
Right.
so obsessed with sex and you're his partner and you're tired and you can have sex maybe twice a week, but he wants it 7 times a week, here's a mount.
There you go. It's like when I get my dogs a toy.
Yeah, exactly.
Go chase
Men
this.
are just like dogs.
Hey, so let's say it's like your first time dating an older lady.
A flogger.
Yeah. Oh, is that what was it? Wait, what does that mean? What does that mean?
It's the tool. I wish I had it today. I wish
Oh,
I had it
I
with
know
me.
what a
it's
flogger
the tool
is.
with the leather
Yeah.
pieces. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, wait, hold on a second. I thought that's like a BDSM thing.
No, it could be, but it could also just be like impact play.
Why for an older lady? I mean, aren't they more
Because
fragile?
she has felt so many sensations in her life. This
Right.
is going to be new.
Okay. All right, that's cool. And then how do you introduce that? So I'm like, there's
Here's
this
a
older lady,
flogger.
and then she's opening her gifts, and she sees sort of the rectangular box, and it's like, oh my God, is it an Amazon Fire Stick? And then she opens it, and she goes, is this something is this a weapon? How do you have that conversation with your older lady?
You can say, "Hey, baby, I really want us to try something new here that I think you have never experienced before. That could be pleasurable for you and could be fun for us."
It is so hard for Dr. Tara to keep it clean. I'm learning, like, she really likes dirty talk. Like, really, like.
I do too, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a thing.
Well, I think, you know what? Maybe on next week's episode, we could maybe do like a holiday role playing. I think role playing is like a thing we probably should talk about. It's very popular.
It's one of my favorite things.
And maybe I can come up with some ideas for you two to role play. Would you guys do that on the next episode of Loveline?
I'm down.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea,
That'd be
right?
awesome.
All right. Just throwing it out there.
Can I bring my cup?
Yeah, of course. Incorporate the cup.
If it's used.
Yeah. All right. That'll be good. Maybe you could play like Santa. I like this. I'm going to think about this for next episode. So next
get all the
episode of
hose.
Loveline.
Get it?
We will absolutely. God, that's terrible. It's so bad when he tells jokes. We'll do a role playing, a holiday edition role playing. I like that. And actually, do we know the social handles off the top of our head?
No.
No? Okay. It'd be great if we did. All right. Now let's move on to this one. Your female partner struggles with orgasming. So this is basically like this applies to a lot of women. All of Muggs' ex-girlfriends. How would you buy or how would you shop for a female partner who struggles with orgasming?
A G-spot vibrating dildo.
Okay, that seems like the Megatron.
Yes.
There's a lot going on there. Explain.
But she's going to have an orgasm.
Okay, explain.
Yeah. Well, if you have a female partner that has never had an orgasm, maybe it takes a little bit of training, right? And maybe a little bit of training can be, times outside of when you have partnered sex.
Mm-hmm.
So when you gift someone the G-spot vibrating dildo, it was designed to specifically stimulate the G-spot area, G-zone. Actually, scholarly speaking, we have changed G-spot to G-zone because the word spot has like weird connotation that it's like only this one little spot, when in fact it's a whole zone.
Is that just to make men feel better that can't find it? Don't worry, honey.
It's a G-zone. But yeah, if she gets this toy, she's going to orgasm and it's going to make her feel better. Then she'll feel like, oh, I'm not broken or something.
I mean, I got to get back to this G-spot versus G-zone. Was that a funded research study? Like, I just feel like sometimes academia is just so bored that they're just that's what they spend their time doing is renaming things that don't need to be renamed.
No.
Who did that benefit? Who did that benefit that it's now a G-zone?
All the people in the world.
All the people in the
all
world?
the people in the world that are sexually active. Because
You know when you didn't read the book and you got to give a presentation on the book?
Yeah.
That's what that
all
is.
the people in the world, because now it's not just this 1 centimeter spot. It's that's 4 inches zone.
Wait, hold on. The G spot is a 4-inch zone?
Well, I wouldn't say 4, but let at least 3 inches. It's a zone. It's a
Okay.
whole zone of the upper vaginal wall.
I feel like it's pretty easy to find if you know what it feels like, right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you want to describe how it feels?
Ridges.
Ridges?
Yeah, you should feel ridge. If you are using your finger during penetrative sex, using the finger in penetration, then you would be able to feel on the top of the vaginal wall. You'll feel ridges almost. It's
kind of like the ridges
tiny,
of your mouth.
A tissue. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Wow.
You know, when I was
Good job.
when I was going to say when I was a kid, when I was a young guy, and I
You're so old now.
Well, because when I felt a woman's privates for the first time, it did remind me of the inside of my mouth.
Yeah.
And because back in the day, if you're a dude listening, whoever is the first person sort of over the hill, they have to then come back over the hill, back to the troops to report on what it was like, right? And so I was one of the first people to do that in my friends group, and I remember having to relay to them what it felt like, and I was like, it's kind of like the inside of your mouth. And I just remember we were all hanging out one summer, and me and my buddies, all these dudes are just playing with their
Putting your
mouth.
fingers inside the mouth?
Yeah. And they're like, really? That's what it's like? I'm like, yeah, it's kind of what it's like. Yeah, it kind of is. All right, well, how about if your partner has expressed a desire for BDSM play, which I find is on the rise like nobody's business?
I would say the shibari rope.
What's that?
So not all ropes are made equal. And you shouldn't just go to Home Depot and get any set of ropes to try BDSM.
I've told you I've done that.
Right.
Why are you bringing up a sore subject?
Because it's idiotic. You should not use Home Depot ropes.
Moving on.
Get shibari ropes, everybody, if you're interested.
Okay. And then how do you sort of get into that? If you've never done that, how do you get into that?
You should really be watching instructional videos on these because it's very dangerous if you don't know how to use it. And you can cut circulation in people and they can pass out. It's a dangerous situation. So make sure you watch instructional videos, be it erotic videos, or there's actually a lot of websites nowadays that provide sex education that's video.
Do you ever see the ones that it's you tie the person up and then there's a bar in the back? What are those?
It's a part of the shibari play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shibari? Is that a guy that started this? What is that?
It's Japanese. It's a Japanese art of rope play.
Is that who invented BDSM?
No.
Who invented BDSM?
So BDSM comes from S&M, right?
Right. Well, Rihanna invented that. No?
Rihanna sings about it.
Okay.
But S comes from French.
Just to paint you the picture, and I'm sorry to interrupt a doctor, is Muggs is so not doing his job right now. He's on his phone doing God knows what, and he thinks, no, I don't want to see. Oh, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Don't show me that.
Nice.
Don't show me that. But he thinks that we don't know that he's doing these interval Ed McMahon laughs every 2 minutes. I made a joke about him 6 minutes ago. You can rewind on the podcast.
Laughing.
And he didn't even, I burned him so bad, and he didn't even say anything. And I look over, this doofus is just on his phone trying to get the right filter on whatever he's posting.
Masturbation cup.
Yeah.
It's nice to have you back here, Producer Muggs.
You're welcome.
We got a lot more to get to on Loveline, and we will be back after this.
Ask about Loveline, the craziest question.
What's the craziest question you've ever gotten on Loveline? Loveline with Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara. We'll be right back.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow. It is Kevan Kenney. Dr. Tara is here. Say hello.
Hello.
Producer Muggs is here.
Hello.
And this is Loveline. I wanted to talk about a song that came on KROQ the past couple months here in Los Angeles radio. It's a big deal kind of when KROQ adds a song. KROQ plays so many classic songs that when a new band comes out, you take a little bit of notice because it made it through, I guess, the system. I mean, you know more about this, Muggs, than I do in these music meetings. And there's a song on KROQ called BBY, Kinky.
It's Baby.
Oh, it's Baby?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's Baby, but they stylize it, Tara, as BBY.
No vowels.
Yeah, because they're edgy. They don't answer to an alphabet. And so, by the way, I tried to look up this band. It's a really dumb name for a band. Because if you Google BBY Kinky, stuff that like Dr. Tara's clients would show her come up.
Oh.
It's not great. But you listen to this song, and it's a very catchy tune. There isn't much to the song. It's a great sort of like very catchy guitar lick. I think it's just a fun vibe. The video's great on YouTube if you want to check it out. But it really does represent what I call the gentrification of kink.
Ooh,
because
big words.
If you think about 30 years ago,
That's
right?
a good band name. Gentrification. We are gentrification of kink.
Yeah. there is like a 3-piece of 6-year-old punks in Huntington Beach that have that name probably.
All right.
We're the gentrification of kink.
Kink, kink, kink. We want kinky.
We're not going to take it. Take what? Muggs' masturbation cup. Kink to me, like 30 years ago, I remember they made a Pulp Fiction, and they had the Gimp character in that. Do you remember that? The Gimp, right? And I remember as a kid being like, "What is that?" Like that, like whatever that is. I don't want any part of that. But anyways, it was this like thing that was presented, this kink that was presented like in a basement, and it was weird and it was hidden. And now you get songs from it's almost a pop rock song, this kinky song, right? And they're talking about it getting kinky sometimes, right? And I find like when you go on the apps and stuff, and if you're just dating, people are more open to talking about their kinks,
Oh, yeah.
And so the medical doctor here, Dr. Tara, right?
I'm not a medical doctor.
Oh, I can't just say that? I can't just say medical doctor? No. That's not synonymous?
I'm a professional doctor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a PhD.
Why aren't you a medical doctor?
A medical doctor is an MD. Do you know
what
the
do
difference?
They do?
Medical doctor treats illnesses.
Okay, what do you
a
treat?
PhD study a specific topic.
Yeah,
so
but
I
you could treat
study
illnesses.
Human sexual behavior.
Yeah, but if a guy comes to you and he's like, I used to hump my bathtub and now I work at KROQ, right? That's an illness. Oh, I'm not going to name names, HIPAA, But yeah, I mean, that's an illness.
I help people heal, yes.
I think you're a medical doctor.
Thank you.
In my eyes. Anyways, in your professional opinion, what has this rise in kink looked like, from your vantage point?
Yes. So kink is any sexual deviation from the norm, right? So we have to think about what is the norm in our Western society. Norm in our Western society is heterosexual sex, missionary sex, and that's pretty much it.
But let me ask you about missionary sex, right?
Right.
Because I got to imagine when sex was invented, right? Doggy style, absolutely the vibe. Absolutely the vibe, right?
I don't think that was opted.
What? You think that
gotta...
cavemen were like laying Jane? You think Tarzan like laid Jane down and made sure Jane was comfortable? No, dude. You think it was romantic when Tarzan and Jane got together? No way, bro.
Have you seen that movie, Sasquatch Summer?
No.
Watch it.
Is that like one of your adult movies?
No,
he's got this box of adult movies.
No, it's
That's so weird.
No, watch Sasquatch Summer. It's about like Sasquatches and
awesome.
Bigfoot?
Yeah, the day-to-day life of the Sasquatch.
How Bigfoot have sex?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
that's
a lot.
great.
There's a couple scenes
can't
in
wait
there.
to do this.
And is it doggy?
It is doggy.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this is a movie about Sasquatches having sex.
Pretty much.
All right. And this is what you do. Is this what you do in there when we see you on the computer?
No, I actually saw this. Somebody put it on at the bar.
Really? Mm-hmm. This is the same bar we've talked about in episode 1.
Yeah.
Which
the
you can
only
go
bar
back
he goes
if this is
to.
yeah, and it's kind of like the root of a lot of Muggs' issues.
A lot of bad stuff happens.
Maybe that's not a bar to go to anymore.
Why? You get
when
to
they
watch
put that
movies
on
like-
the TV? When they put that on the TV? But missionary was absolutely invented by like some boring white people that came here on a ship at some point. There's no way.
I can see that.
Who?
Yeah,
I mean, do you ever read about this, or like, is there any research?
No, there's not documented.
Really?
No, it's not documented who came up.
There's no like
founder of missionary.
There's no like Christopher Columbus of missionary.
No.
So then I could just claim to have invented missionary.
No, because you're not old enough to have claimed.
That is true.
People have used it.
That
for
is
a
true.
long
People
time.
have. There's videos
Yes,
actually
yes.
from like the 80s of people doing that.
But yeah, I think King became super popular due to the popularity of BDSM.
Well, and pornography, don't you think?
Well,
isn't-
obviously, but BDSM became mainstream. Porn
Why
is
is
still
that?
not mainstream.
What
People are
changed
still
though?
ashamed that they watch porn.
But what made BDSM go mainstream?
50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, was that the
Yeah.
moment?
I mean, it's like $1 billion franchise.
that was
and,
like the
around
Nirvana
the world.
Nevermind.
And
that was the breakthrough. No, in seriousness, like that. There are these moments in. Oh my gosh, Muggs is for you listening. This is so awful, and we just took sexual harassment training. And by the way, should I plug the website this is off of? I asked you if it was an adult movie. Why is it on an adult website if it's not an adult movie, Muggs?
Showing us a terrible, terrible bestiality video.
Riley Keough. You know Riley Keough?
No, I do not know Riley Keough. Who's Riley Keough?
She plays one of the Sasquatch, and I think who else is?
Is that an adult film star?
No, she's like she was the daughter. She is the daughter.
It's on what you just showed me. I want to just be very specific.
There's like actual actors in the movie. It's not like a porn.
Okay, but why is it on a porn site?
Yeah.
Because you just showed us a porn site on your whose laptop?
You're
you don't have
work
a laptop.
Internet.
Whose laptop is that?
Work laptop.
Mine.
It's not your laptop. You don't own a laptop. You don't have your own laptop.
Of course I do.
He's on someone's laptop looking at this porn. They're gonna get here tomorrow for work and go, I didn't watch this porn.
Jesse Eisenberg's in it also.
Okay.
No, and it's like it's bestiality. That's
not bestiality. It's a movie. It's no different than like any movie with a dog.
It's a lot different than like think of any movie that doesn't have a sex scene with Sasquatches. It would be different.
That thing has fur on, so that's not.
I mean, there's also in the movie there's like masturbation scenes and stuff.
This is an adult movie.
It's not.
I don't think you know what an adult movie is.
Of course I know what an adult movie is. This is not an adult movie.
I think I have to.
It has actual actors and actresses in the movie dressed as Sasquatch
having sex. You just showed us. You can't deny this. You just showed us two Sasquatches having sex.
It's not the entire.
And no one asked you to do that.
But I wanted to show you what animals, half human, half animals do.
Okay, maybe get the person's consent before you show them something like that.
Always consent.
Are you making this an HR thing?
No, I'm just saying. I love you. I don't want you to get in trouble. You unsolicited just showed us a Sasquatch sex scene.
I think you're making this more of an issue than it has to be.
Okay. Well, with KINKS, I'm gonna shut down the laptop. Okay, and we'll come back to you in a second.
That's inappropriate.
That's disgusting. It really is. Gonna have to put parental controls on that thing. Are any kinks too far? This is what I wanted to ask you, Dr. Tara.
Yeah, I would say if it's unconsensual,
well,
like practicing that kink, then it's
please,
unless
no.
it's your kink to do consent, non-consent.
Well, let me ask you this: like when people like to get degraded, right?
That's part of power play. Yeah,
but is that healthy?
It could be for them. It could be therapeutic or healing because it's taking the need to control away and just kind of like receiving whatever it is that's from their dom. It's about submitting and yielding to the power rather than the specific words being said.
But you could be like a submissive and your sort of flavor of submissiveness is not degradation. So I'm just thinking of like some kinks that are out there that maybe inherently, because there is an interesting dichotomy sexually with women. I mean, I'm sure with men too. I can just, whenever I say something like that on Loveline, I've exclusively dated women, so that's why I say women. There is this dichotomy sexually of people wanting to be treated a certain way in the bedroom, but they would not want to be treated that way outside of the bedroom.
Absolutely not, right.
So with those types of kinks, like degradation, right, disrespect, things like that, can you do that in a healthy way, or do those kinks speak to a deeper issue with that person that maybe should be reconciled?
No, you can totally do it in a healthy way, and a lot of people actually adopt like things like dirty talk in their sexual repertoire.
Yeah, but that's not degradation.
Yeah, it can include degradation. Right, there are words I can't say. Can I say it? I can't say it.
No, I don't.
Hold on. We'll bleep it if we have to. What?
As long as it's not penetrative. It's like, and it's not vulgar.
Say it.
Like in forms of it is like I'm gonna throat you dirty slut.
Yeah, we'll have to bleep that. But so what you have just heard has been bleeped.
Oh, it's so good. That's so funny. I thought it was going to be like something on the fence, and it was like, no, you absolutely can never say that. That is hilarious.
You don't do that,
no,
Kevin?
But that's not degradation. I'm talking about like people that want to be disrespected.
People that disrespect.
Like you have a small penis.
There's that for
like
the men, right?
Yeah,
like the men that are into that sort of thing, right? But then there's also like women that want to be like spit on.
But you know what's really interesting? A lot of people that like to hear like their female dominatrix saying like you have a small penis. It's usually people that have really big penises.
Really? And what's the psychology there?
Oh, it's just like belittling. It's fun. A lot of times when people overanalyze kink, it's really interesting because like people like all sorts of things. Like people like all sorts of movies and music and art. Like why do we overanalyze when people like something sexually?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I like Summer Sasquatch.
Yeah,
Sasquatch
all
Summer.
different kinds of movies.
Nothing with fur, please.
No. Yeah, what's up with those furries? What's up with that? As we're on the topic of kinks.
Yeah.
What's
Well, they're not
that's not
into
healthy.
animals,
They're
so
not.
Let's say that. No.
Whoa, hold
They're
on,
not
hold
into having sex with animals.
Can
That's
you just
bestiality.
Can you define furries for me? Because I think that is a very popular kink these days, and I think it's misunderstood. And I'm not an advocate for it. I'm saying I don't think I understand it.
Well, they like role playing in furry cartoons. So maybe it's a fox, and they wear a fox costume, and they go on dates.
It's kind of like what Mug showed us in that Sasquatch scene. I'm not making jokes.
You might be into that. Have you ever thought about being a furry?
Well, it's funny that you asked that, Dr. Tara. Weenie Roast, when it was at the Irvine Amphitheater.
And Weenie Roast, if you're not listening on KROQ, was a very famous concert series. Would happen in the summertime in Los Angeles from the 90s to the 2000s, 2010s.
Right. So we would stay at the same hotel like 3 of the years that we did Weenie Roast while the furry convention was going on. So they would be hanging out at like
That's
the
so
Weenie
fun.
Roast after party. And I was always curious, like, yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. And like, I guess some of them were sexual, some were just not. Like,
Right. A
there's,
lot
like,
of them
all-
are not.
Right.
Yeah.
But there was some, right?
There are some. Yeah.
They were at the hotel that night too. Right?
Yeah.
So they have sex dressed as animals.
Yeah.
Okay, so how are they not into bestiality?
Because bestiality is having sex with real animals.
That's the only difference?
Role play. It's
That's
fun.
the only difference?
Yes.
But don't you think it's like that's like somebody like who plays violent video games about mass shootings versus someone who's a mass shooter? Isn't that like they're both incredibly concerning?
No, there's no correlation.
You don't
No.
think so?
No,
So
not
what
at
is
all.
it-
I
but
actually
you
know
sell-
research on that because
sell
a friend
me.
of mine
Okay.
does research on whether or not violent video games predict violent behaviors, and it does not.
Really?
Mm-mm. Then we would be in huge trouble. You know how many hundreds of millions of people play those violent shooting games?
Right.
We would be going crazy if it actually has that impact. It
But-
does not.
But sell me on how this is healthy to be into furries.
I'm not saying it's healthy, but it can be. Let's say, okay, let me sell it to you. If you're a guy, right, in your teenage years, and you're exploring yourself sexually, you came across this video of people wearing their costumes and like either going on dates or going like having a romantic time, and then maybe they kiss, and then maybe it progresses into like a sexy time. You may feel like, oh, wow, I'm interested in that. I want to try that. And if you try it and it makes you feel empowered and like normal in your own way, why not allow people to do that and not judge them for being quote unquote weird just because they don't like anything within the norm?
The way that you've enlightened me to the fact that I'm attracted to curvy women and have been my whole life, and that's probably tied to me wanting a family one day and sort of curves.
So that's evolutionary theory.
Right.
Because you're technically a caveman.
Right, exactly.
With a little bit more therapy.
Yeah, I'm technically a caveman. Muggs is literally a caveman.
I'm a Sasquatch.
Oh, no.
But the way that you explained that sort of correlation, what is the reason somebody would be turned on, even initially, to the concept of furries as you've just laid out? The way that I want a family one day, I want a fertile-looking woman, i.e., a big butt and a large chest.
But see, that's a flaw to think that evolutionary theory has an explanation for everything is a flaw. Because
But
humans
wouldn't you
are very
say
complex.
wanting to have sex with furries is a flaw?
Not no.
If we were
Not
comparing
every single
scars.
human behavior has evolutionary theory explanations to it.
So what's the explanation for furries, though?
Like what ice cream flavor do you like?
Depends, bro.
Say something.
I like cookie dough.
There you go. Does that have evolutionary theory explanation? Like, does it make your sperm shoot further? Does it
No, but it
guarantee
probably
you
makes
offsprings?
But it's probably like an excess of. Well, no. Short answer, yes. Or
There
sorry,
you go.
short answer, no. It does not.
Yes, so basically, debate over. Not everything has to have evolutionary theory explanations to it.
But what theory do furries have other than that they want to bang dogs?
No, they don't. They
They're
like
banging the
role play.
dogs.
They
Do you hear this?
like to role
They're banging
play.
the dogs. They're banging the cats.
How do you think they keep their tails in?
I don't even get that joke, dude.
Take it off.
What do you? What? All right, I'm disgusted by that, Muggs. I don't even think I fully understand it.
More Loveline still to come.
With Kevan Kenney and Dr. Tara.
Loveline on KROQ. Now back to Loveline on KROQ.
No wires needed, yet voices travel back and forth.
Call or text 833-LOVE-191.
We are back on Loveline. Kevan Kenney, Dr. Tara. Well, we are on to another caller. Muggs has found us a lady named Megan from West LA. And does you have a dog, Megan? Oh, yeah.
I do. The second you go live, just be surprised.
I was going to say, was that a dog? You just happy to hear from you, Megan. All right. In all seriousness, Megan not only has a dog, but she's got a heck of a situation going on here. It says that Megan hooked up with a famous musician, and now her boyfriend is their #1 fan, but has no idea. Dude, this is the messiest situation I think we've ever had on our short-lived career here on Loveline. So just, again, I don't even know if I read that entirely clearly. Megan hooked up with a famous musician. This is in your past, Megan?
Yeah, I mean, it just happened like within the last month, but...
Did you cheat? I thought this was like something from your past. Did you cheat on your boyfriend?
Yeah. So it just kind of happened, and trying to figure out,
dude. No, we're stopping it right there because we hear this from cheaters all the time. We heard from a cheater on a previous Loveline where she was a flight attendant and she cheated on her husband with a pilot, and it was just kind of happened. I don't believe that those things just kind of happen. So what happened?
Well, it does just kind of happen. Like, you're out, like, I was out afterwards with my friends, and we were all just hanging out, and, you start drinking, and one thing leads to another. What am I supposed to do? Like, do you tell them? I don't know. I think I'm trying to work out, like, am I supposed to tell my boyfriend? Or do you just, because I don't do this all the time.
Can I ask you a serious question? And I'm not judging you.
Yeah.
I tell jokes on here. That's
Sure.
really the only thing I can contribute because I'm not a doctor and I don't know anything. So they're like, hey, we have a doctor. Can you just be funny every 2 episodes, and they'll pay me a little stipend, I guess. But no, in all seriousness, I'm not judging you, Megan. The psychology is really what I'm most fascinated by in people's decision making. For you, did you do this because for the story is what I'm getting at? Did you do this because you only live once and you go, dude, this is crazy. I've seen this guy on TV my whole life, or he's a huge celebrity, and this is just the best story ever?
Yeah, part of it is for the story and is this really happening right now? Like, how far can it go?
Well, you probably, it's also got to be flattering to a certain extent, Megan, right? Because you're going, this guy could have anybody, and here he is, with little old me in West LA.
Exactly.
Right? You're like, I never see guys like this at the bungalow.
Yeah, there's that side of it, and then there's the, what my boyfriend doesn't know won't hurt him.
Is there a little something? Is there a little something hot about him not knowing, getting one over on him? And I know that sounds so messed up, but we're trying to get to the heart of honesty and really sexual psychology here at Loveline. Is there a little something kind of hot because there is that little thing oh, he doesn't know?
Yeah, I mean, but I feel so bad about it.
You don't sound like you feel bad about it. That's why I'm asking you.
There's part of it is a, notch on my bedpost, so to speak. And the conquest side of it. So yeah, I don't feel that bad about it, but I think if my boyfriend knew, he would be really upset about it.
Because where I was getting at is, Tara, I remember for a while there, once I got on, and I know this is when I got on TV for the first time, right? Everyone knows what MTV is, right? Mm-hmm. And then especially this was in the day and age of 2018, 2019, where blue check marks were a big deal. Mm-hmm. On Instagram it was this aspirational thing. So if a girl saw you had a blue check mark, you'd be like, whoa, who is this guy? Mm-hmm. And I never thought I was important, but obviously there was that perception that this guy was important, right? Hosting a cable TV show in 2019. Mm-hmm. So anyways, I would find myself just getting laid really easily, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not a guy who goes oh, well, it's me, man. My S doesn't stink. You know what I mean? And then I realized in hindsight, I think women really love narrative. And I think this is why women are so prone to manipulation from men and storytellers, and why there's that age-old thing of entertainers and actors and musicians not being the best partners because they tell stories for a living and they're very manipulative. You think about all these people getting canceled in the world of Hollywood, these men, and a lot of it is manipulation through storytelling. And so I think that women will tell themselves stories that this is oh my God, this is so exciting. This guy, he's on TV. I know that I've seen this or whatever.
Like a bucket list item.
Yeah. And then so I think I can attest to experiencing that. Obviously, I want to be very clear. I pale in comparison to the name I will not read on this sheet of paper. But trust me, if you're listening to Loveline right now, you definitely know this guy. I'm not this guy, but I've been in a weird microcosm kind of way on the other side of that. And so I just think that's part of the equation here. So this is awkward, though, because does your boyfriend, like, play the music in the house?
Yeah, like, he was just listening the other day, and I was like, am I supposed to listen to this all the time and not say anything now?
Do you get turned on when he plays it?
A little bit. Like, there is a little bit of a high to it now that you mention it. But then it's, like, the embarrassment shame side of it, too, of, like, oh, like, does he know without knowing? Because, like, my friends were there, too. And I don't think my friends would tell him. But, like, and obviously they weren't there. But they knew what was happening in the other room type thing.
Well, Dr. Tara, I got to be honest. I think that what's causing Megan more distress than the fact that she cheated on her boyfriend with a celebrity is this performative put-on that I think a lot of women go through where they feel conflicted, but what they're really conflicted over is sort of like societal expectations of how they're supposed to feel about this and then how they actually feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think that Megan might benefit by looking into having an open relationship.
See, every time I've entertained an open relationship, it's because I hate my girlfriend and I just want to sleep with other people.
No. That's not the right reason to be in an open relationship. Nowadays, lots of people are interested in non-monogamy. And a non-monogamous relationship is highly consensual, highly communicative, very compassionate. So it's not like I hate my girlfriend and I want to be open. Like, not at all. It's full of love and communication and respect. So perhaps the fact that you were so excited and happy and you actually don't really sound too guilty about it is that you find the freedom satisfying, and that's what you want for your life. Have you ever thought about that?
You know, I have. I tried to have the conversation when my boyfriend and I first started dating, and he was very much like, oh, no or never.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. I'm jumping in here. Megan, you had a conversation with your boyfriend, in your own words, early on, that you wanted an open relationship?
Not just like testing the waters.
Okay.
You know?
No. By the way, I'm not. She's very. I'm picking up on something right here.
Right.
She's very prone to feeling judged. So there's something in her past where she was judged harshly, and now.
Did you grow up religious?
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Is there, not to get controversial, but you ever find in your line of work there's a positive benefits of religious households?
Yes, I'm religious.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, right on.
and
That's
sexually
awesome.
liberated.
Happy holidays. So Megan, you're not being judged. I want to remind you of that. But do you ever think that there's another way to look at this that's not as like like crazy, that you started dating a guy and almost immediately entertained the idea of an open relationship? Maybe you just didn't want to date that guy.
No, I do really like him.
What do you like about him, though? Is he predictable?
Yeah, he does have. He's very like kind and does like a lot of things that are like acts of service. You know.
All right,
like,
so you know what this is? Not. I'm not. By the way, and I'm not trying to sound dismissive
are you
here.
about to judge me?
No, I'm not judging you. But what it sounds like is she grew up in a very judgmental household, and she didn't receive the type of caregiving she needed from her parents, and it was religious, and she felt judged, and she felt like she couldn't maybe have a voice in her household. And then so what's happening now is she really likes how caring and soft this man is, but I don't think he satisfies her sexually whatsoever.
Is that true, Megan?
Wow, I think that's pretty spot on.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's not as interested or like
you're bored.
Talking.
I sound like Noah from the Notebook. You're bored, and you know you're bored. You wouldn't be here if you weren't.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like this relationship will be long term.
I thought she was gonna say that didn't sound like Noah. I was like, that was a spot on Noah. Are you kidding me?
No, I don't think this relationship will last.
I want you every day.
Okay.
The rest of my life.
All right.
This.
Sorry.
Someone get him a record deal.
Or turn off his mic.
She was a city girl. He was from the country. Anyways. All right, Megan. Can you break up with this?
So you think I should break up with him?
Yeah, I think you should. I think you should break up with him. I don't think you like him. I think that I mean, because I guess to ask Dr. Tara here, my whole thing with the monogamish and the open relationships is like, okay, so let's say I open up my relationship and my girlfriend can sleep with other men and I can sleep with other women. Then what do I need my girlfriend for?
Love and affection, commitment, connection.
So what does that say about me? Where like I just feel like maybe I don't need that. If it is open,
You
like if
can
I'm
be aromantic.
No, I'm very romantic. I'm saying it's like.
What do you not need then?
I'm saying if my girlfriend can sleep with other guys and I can sleep with other girls, I don't have a connection to my girlfriend. I think for me, it's like
That's
what makes
different. It's just different. That means that you define connection differently because there's different types of
No,
connection.
I'm asking you to label me. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm on the couch. I'm like,
Yeah.
No, you don't know.
You're
Are we
just-
losing Dr. Tara? Dr. Tara's fading, like very big
You're
right
just
now.
monogamous. You're monogamous, and that's the only way you think about the situation. The world is vast. People's expectations and preferences and what they want in life is different. So I think when it comes to non-monogamy, people just have such resistance towards it because it hasn't been practiced widely in modern society for a long, long time. And I think the more people see healthy versions of non-monogamy in our modern society, the more they're going to be like, you know what, that makes sense. Like, not for
Totally.
me, but that totally makes sense. And I can see why people are loving being in that relationship. And also, when you say like, what if my girlfriend can sleep with anybody and I can sleep with anybody? Like, just by the way, in open relationships, it doesn't work like that.
How does it work? I don't know. I'm
Right.
curious.
Yeah. So in open relationships, there's a lot of like rules and regulations that people like agree upon, and you still follow those rules and regulations. And if you don't, and there is a breach of trust, that's still infidelity. Believe it or not, open relationship people can still engage, can still cheat.
So give us like a rule and regulation. Like I know like you need 2 feet down in bounds for it to be a catch, but what else what is like a rule or regulation that you've heard of or maybe experienced in an open relationship?
So one of my clients, right, became open just last year after being married for 3 years and
And for the
dating
new,
10.
not to speak over you, for the new listeners, who are your clients? Like what do you mean by clients?
So I have a private practice for sex and relationship coaching. So I have a lot of clients. I have single men, single women, couples, right? So I help them with whatever sex or relationship issues that they have.
And where can they find this? If somebody
Just-
like is listening right now and they want to become a client.
My roster is full.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm super busy.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can be on a wait list. So you can email me. And
Is
be
it like
on a wait
therapy?
list.
Is it like therapy?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you
So,
want to
okay.
give out the email? You don't have to.
No, you can go to my website, lovebites.co. Yeah, LUVBITES.co. Go to my website and figure that out. But yes, so this client became open and needed help with like, okay, what are my boundaries? What do I feel good about? What do I not feel good about? So one of the rules and regulations is no sleeping with people we know together. So like mutual friends.
Okay.
Right. So that's one of the rules and regulations. And if someone in the relationship does that, that's cheating. Like that's breach of trust. That's not okay.
That makes sense.
Right. Another one is for their relationship, they do don't ask, don't tell. So some open couples will talk about their quests. We'll talk about, oh, I went on a date with this guy, like this happens, but not them. They don't want that. They want the don't ask, don't tell. They want like I'm gonna be in Santa Barbara this weekend. Let me know if you need anything, but I'm just gonna be doing my own thing this weekend.
Monogamy definitely seems like a thing a dude made up. If you trace it back, right?
Yeah.
It's like a lot of
Yeah.
that, like a guy who just wanted a lot of control probably made up that.
Well, you know
construct.
who made up monogamy, right?
Who?
Religion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So religion made up monogamy, and then certain subsect of religion made up polygamy, which means one man, multiple wives.
They were just the horny religious people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Polygamy is illegal, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Muggs, dude, you better.
All right.
Yeah.
Time to make 8 phone calls.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Do you know the difference between polygamy and polyamory?
You're not married to the people in polyamory.
Exactly. So polyamory is loving relationships with multiple people, and this is consensual and communicative and all like above board.
Can you have sex with them?
You can, but you don't have to. Some polyamorous people don't have sex.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just loving and it's multiple people.
What about like Charlie Sheen back in the day? He had those like 2 really hot girlfriends. What was that?
He's in a throuple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of terms. But polygamy, where it's like one husband, multiple wives married, that's illegal.
Can thruples work?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I know a few thruples actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know any, do you know like two women looking for a thruple?
What do you mean?
Just like, like maybe we could matchmake. Because I've been looking for two women for a thruple. And then if you knew two women.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Would you be interested in that?
Yeah, well, I mean, what am I agreeing to? Like, what is it? Like, what do I have to do?
Like, what if sometimes they just want like a cuck? Like, where they want someone to watch them. Would you be down
watch
for that?
them?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like free whenever, dude.
What will you be doing, Jay?
Jay?
Will you be Jaying it out?
I don't know. I'd have to kind of see out the vibe.
Popcorn.
Popcorn.
What's popcorn?
I don't know. We're just coming
eating
up with
popcorn?
terms. What does it feel? What does it
I don't think I've ever done popcorn. Hey, wait, Megan, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
She's got the dogs, I think. Wasn't she the one with the dogs? Megan, does the open relationship sound at all interesting to you?
It does. When Dr. Tara was talking about more of like the don't ask, don't tell one, like that's more what I think I want. And so I'm wondering, like, I really don't want to break up with my boyfriend. Like, is there a way I can, like, I mean, I don't want to tell him about the situation either, but maybe like moving forward, I can talk to him about.
Yeah,
it's gonna eat him, dude.
No,
it's not gonna work.
Send him my my video on healthy non-monogamy and see what he says.
Oh, that's a good idea.
All right, well, hey Megan, I think you should break up with that dude.
I mean, we'll see.
All right, well, I mean, I think Megan was probably just in the wrong relationship. You know, would you say, Doctor, that if you're cheating in general, you're probably in the wrong relationship?
Yeah.
Is that as simple as that? You think so?
Yeah.
All right, very cool. Dr. Tara, where can people find you on social media?
Lovebites.co, LUVBITES.co.
But don't you dare email her trying to get on our client list because that thing is booked and busy. We'll catch you on the next Loveline. Peace.
This has been Loveline. The opinions expressed on Loveline are not necessarily those of staff, management, sponsors, or the station.
Loveline is produced and engineered by Jonathan Beermug Cantrell. Loveline is a presentation of the world-famous KROQ.
You hang up first.
No, you hang up first.
I'm not hanging up till you hang up, so hang up.
Well, I'm not hanging up till you hang up, so you hang up.
Okay, on the count of 3, we'll both hang up. Cool?
Cool.
1, 2, 3.